Why did they not do that?
Yeah.
You eat people.
What are some of the other myths, Red Dead myths? Trelawney is the strange man? No, he's not. Otherwise, John would have recognized him. They're like, hi, Trelawney. Oh, yeah. No, of course Trelawney's not the strange man. But he does look similar, kind of. The strange man, is the strange man the devil? Or is he the Grim Reaper? Or is he, yeah, that's a question I don't know the answer to. And, yeah, the aliens. There's aliens in Red Dead. Never would have thought that.
Yeah.
And, yeah, what other myths are there? Is Abigail the second rat? I don't think so. I don't think she would jeopardize John like that. I don't think she would do that. I can't stand Abigail, but she wouldn't do that.
Oh. Well, that just reminded me of another myth that I don't like at all.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're going to say.
Which is, who is Jack's father?
I know what you would do that. I can't stand Abigail, but she wouldn't do that.
Oh. Well.
Yeah, what other myths are there? Is Abigail the second rat? I don't think so. I don't think she would jeopardize John like that. I don't think she would do that. I can't stand Abigail, but she wouldn't do that.
Oh. Well, that just reminded me of another myth that I don't like at all.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're going to say.
Which is, who is Jack's father? Jack on it. He does look a whole lot like Javier, doesn't he, when he gets older? Jeez.
That's all stems from just one line that Dutch says to you at the end of Red Dead 1. Yeah.
We all had her.
Oh, man. No, I think Jack is John's, too. I do. No, I don't think Abigail would lie like that,
Yeah.
All right, we have one over here.
So you guys have some pretty iconic voices. I'm curious as to when you guys are in public, if you switch into character mode just to see if other people around catch on. Do you guys have any funny stories about that?
No. Well, I live in the town that I grew up in, which is a really small town. So for me, I think, we all kind of know each other anyway. I guess like coming to places like this, there have been a couple people that are volunteering or whatever. They're like, "Whoa, oh my goodness, you sound just like him." It's like the first interaction we have, and I think, "Oh, right on. My name's Rob. What's your name?" That's it. But I do think. But
it doesn't happen that much to me. Not a lot. No. I remember once though, I was in a diner and this girl came up to me and she went, "Excuse me, are you Roger Clark?" And my son was there, and he went, "Yeah, and I'm Rory. How's it going?" Yeah, it doesn't happen that often. One of these days, I might film myself at a drive-through, going, "Hey, can I get a Happy Meal?"
yes, you should.
Put it on TikTok, That could be funny. I don't know. But yeah, normally I don't sound like Arthur from my day-to-day, so yeah.
Have somebody over here.
Hello. Oh, it's on? Okay. So there's obviously like a lot of side characters in Red Dead and Red Dead Redemption 2, but which one is like, out of all the side missions, is like, who's your favorite character to interact with?
I like the pig farming couple. That was so much fun. They made me laugh, man. They were so funny. Here's a bit of Rockstar info. So for all the beginning of GTA 5 when you're doing the bank robbing mission at the very beginning up in Yankton, North Yankton, and the guy, there's 4 of them and one of them gets killed. So the guy who gets killed, same actor as the brother from the pig farming couple. And he is so funny, man. He had me in stitches. That was so hilarious. They're my favorite, the pig farm. You like the Sun Worshipper, don't you?
Yeah, that guy was awesome. He was so funny. It was hard to get through the scene. Gosh, he was awesome. Seth, the Gravedigger. If you played Red Dead Redemption, he was hilarious and funny, like written funny, but also the guy was just funny. Like all day long, he was funny. But I think his line when he and John first meet, he's like down in a grave. And John walks up and he says, "Are you Seth or whatever?" And who's asking? I don't know how this goes exactly, but then John introduces himself. Well, my name's John Marston. What does he say? "So long, John Marston. Goodbye." Yeah, yes. Get out of here. I don't care who you are. I just love that guy. I think he's hilarious. And then he finds his treasure, and it's an eye. I can't talk about this, can I?
All right, we have one over here. Alrighty. To not get too deep into spoiler territory, we do know that.
I think we could. There's spoilers, guys. There's gonna be spoilers. You can talk whatever you want.
That's what I'm saying. At the end of both Red Dead 2 and 1, I cried more than I've ever cried in my entire life. And I wanted to know, as actors who basically lived and breathed these characters for over 5 years, do you guys have any personal moments or emotional moments from the games that have stuck with you since then?
To be honest with you, in Red Dead Redemption, I remember shooting that. Things are shot out of order, right? The way Rockstar does it, I don't know if it's another way to protect their material. If it is, it's really smart. But you're given the script in sections, and the sections are given to you out of order. So it's really hard to understand what's going on. But I remember we shot that scene. Oh, wow. This guy's really good this time. They're actually having me act it out. And I thought, in every other case, he's going to respond. But whenever they want a really cool death scene, they didn't do it. So I really didn't know what was going on. But in Red Dead 2, when Arthur gave John his hat, so that, at that point, that was the very, very last thing that we shot, performance capture. Then we went into the sound booth and people did months in there doing different things. But as far as all the stuff on stage, that was the last thing we did, and everybody knew it was the last thing we did. It was far enough into the project that everybody knew exactly what that moment meant. And I don't know, typically in the room, in the stage, whatever you call it, there would be however many actors in the scene, and then you got the director, a couple of animators, sound guy. There were probably 10 or 15 people, producers doing things. As long as they were quiet, nobody would know they were there because the cameras only pick up the reflective tape on the little markers that go on these suits that you wear. So even though that's how it was on the stage, in the building there were still, I don't know, 50, 60 people that were upstairs doing stuff on computers as we were shooting every day. We didn't see them all the time, but we knew they were there, and they worked as hard as anybody. And so for that scene also, they brought all those people down and let them be part of it on the stage too. So when we got that one done, and the entire room was full of people who'd been working on this project Roger worked on it for 5 years, but the developers, to create the entire world,
Even longer.
and all the stuff, just
6, 7 years.
yeah, for everyone to be able to be part of
Because you
that.
did such a great job on the first one.
Oh, well, thank you. But it was a very big moment for everyone for a lot of reasons. I'll never forget that. That was awesome.
Yeah, I knew Arthur was gonna die early on because we did the mission where he collects from Thomas Downs, Archie Downs. Archie's the son, right? Thomas, right? So that was a very specific stage direction. It says Thomas Downs coughs in Arthur's face, and I was like, oh, what's that all about? And our director said, yeah, you contract TV. And I went, oh, okay. So then I'll go on to Google and I'm looking, when did they find a cure for TB? And it wasn't 1899. So I was like, oh, okay. So for 5 years, I knew Arthur was going to have a similar fate to John Marston. Spoilers. But I didn't know exactly the details of it. And I didn't know, and it took like 4.5 years before we filmed those scenes. So I was very nervous because I knew how impactful John's death was, and I knew that with Arthur you see it coming, and it's this long, slow burn. With John, it's so sudden that it's sudden shock, and it's so. I think Rockstar did it very well. Did the same thing, but in two very different ways. But yeah, I was very nervous because I wanted to give it the service that it deserved, and I was trying to make Red Dead 2 as good as Red Dead 1, and so I was very nervous. And there was 4 different versions too. So the first one I did was the most nerve-wracking, and that was the high honor helping John side, the peaceful one where he sees the sun. And once I got that out of the way, then the other ones became a little easier. Yeah, but I was a little nervous. I was nervous.
All right, next question over here.
Out of all of the gang members, besides you two, who is your personal favorite?
I like Charles. He's loyal, he's strong, he's just a good guy. I like Charles.
Yeah, I think I second that. But I also really enjoyed doing a lot of scenes with Alex as Sadie Adler. She was awesome, and she was hysterical too. Alex is so funny. But I remember there were scenes where I thought, "Dang, gone." I mean, if you had to listen to anyone say the things that Sadie Adler says to these people as they're being captured and pulled in, I thought, "Dang, terrible." I mean, one of them, for instance, and this was so funny too because the way Alex said it, but we're doing the scene. We had a crash test dummy that we would carry around, and you actually did pick me up.
I remember him. And we called him Donald because after Donald Trump.
Yes.
We called him Donald because every once in a while we'd punch him.
I had this dummy over my shoulder. I'm walking into the sheriff's office, and there's Alex, or Sadie, sitting on the desk, and I walk by to throw the guy into the cell or whatever, and it's Sadie's over there. It's like, "You smell like shit," and she made shit into like a 5-syllable word. I thought it was so funny.
That line she says about Mexico too. "Too tough for you, John Marston." I love that. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Way back here.
So, in Red Dead 2, just mild spoiler, halfway through, we see Lenny get pretty much gunned down immediately, and there's hardly any funeral because everybody's running. To me personally, that kind of just was like, really? We're doing that to Lenny, poor guy? Like, was there any sort of other character death that just really, like, angered you when you see it, like sort of an injustice to the character, sort of thing like that?
Yeah, Lenny got done dirty, didn't he? It's so sad because, he at his last moments, he literally sees his family running away from him. Horrible. Sean, too. It's like out of left field. Oh my gosh, didn't expect to see that coming, And it just goes to show, crime doesn't pay, I guess, That's like one of the major themes of the game, is half the gang can see that the time of the outlaw is coming to an end, and it's a sad thing because half the gang can see the writing on the wall and the other half doesn't. So that's kind of where the division happens, But yeah, Lenny got done dirty. There was another death that made me sad. Kieran, Kieran's that's wrong too. Here's a fun fact. So Saint Denis was beheaded, and if you can Google it, you'll see like statues of him, and he's holding his head just like Kieran was, and he was a martyr, I think he was French, funnily enough. But yeah, Kieran died the exact same way Saint Denis did. The writing was pretty spot on. Yeah, but Kieran, that was sad too. Just when they were starting to accept him,
How All right, we got one over here.
What was your least favorite cutscene to shoot?
Anytime I had to say Colm, I hated it. Because it's pronounced Colum, you know? It's an Irish name. It's not Colm, it's Colum. And I said that to them. I said, you know, it's pronounced Colum, right? And they're like, they're English, so they didn't care. And I throw them under the bus every chance I get. It's Colum, it's not Colm. It never will be Colm, but, you know, whatever.
Gosh, you know what? There weren't a lot of things, honestly, that I didn't enjoy. But and this is more, I don't know, it's not a cutscene, it's a side mission, I guess, where you get tricked into going into that dude's house and then he kind of has his way with you.
I didn't have to do that. That was Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we shared the side missions. He would mocap one, I'd mocap the other. Yeah, I didn't have to do that one.
Yeah. I didn't like it. The other actor didn't like it either. It was just like a really awkward thing where it was like, why are we making? Why we don't need this? We
But
don't.
you did it so well, Rob.
And then John or whoever it is, right? But I did it as John, standing up and waking up and being like, ah. And they said, you know, definitely let them know that you're grossed out and what the hell was that? But also, you got to get back to it because the person's going to walk off and you can't continue to be like,
Adjust your wedgie.
I thought, yeah. Like, I need just give me like 5 minutes of being like, what happened? Then I'll feel better about it.
Who do you think Gavin was?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, poor Nigel. Was there even a Gavin? He's so crazy. He might have just made him up. Yeah, but whoever Gavin was, he didn't like Nigel, did he? I wonder if he knew, like, you know, probably fled to just like San Francisco or something. And imagine, you know, there's some guy looking for you, devoting the whole rest of his life. I remember when I started playing the epilogue. The epilogue was fun for me because that was the first time in the game I didn't know what was going to happen. And I'm playing around in the epilogue, and I see the friggin' guy again. So he's been looking for Gavin for over at least 5 years now. And he's still looking slightly more disheveled and stuff. And I thought that was hilarious. Who is Gavin? I don't know. I feel bad for Nigel. And here's the funny thing. Nobody knows it's Nigel unless you kill him. You gotta kill him, and then you search his body, you see the note, and then you find out what his name actually is. There's a character, you don't even know his name unless you murder him. That's sad.
I think somehow, in a strange turn of events, at a different panel, we came to the realization that Gavin is the strange man. That's who he is.
Ah.
And I'm gonna go ahead and run with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes more sense. It's totally plausible.
Well, you don't ever see Gavin and the strange man at the same time.
Nope.
So, I think that's who it is.
First, congratulations. Your game is one of the few games that made me cry. So, really good performance from you, Roger. Sorry if anyone's asked you this yet. What'd you name your horse?
I named my horse Rob.
Awesome.
But I knew not to bring him on the last mission, because obviously I knew it was going to happen. If you don't have a 4-star bonding with your horse on that last mission, that cutscene skips. It doesn't play. The attention to detail is insane. It's absolutely insane. But yeah, I remember that I had a white Arabian, which is one of my favorite horses, but it's too small. It makes Arthur look so huge. I like the white Arabian and I like Buell. So I knew I didn't bring my horses on the last mission. I just took a random one. Because I knew what was going to happen.
Alrighty, so what's your favorite chapter or your favorite mission in Red Dead 2?
I played through the first chapter, and that's all I got through. I'm really bad at it. I really am bad at it, and it's frustrating because I know the story, but I can't get through the story because I can't physically do it. So
It's all here waiting for you.
But my goodness, I don't know what would be the most exciting. I've seen it all. I've seen all the footage now. I think on YouTube or wherever else you can get it.
I like chapter 2 or 3 because that's before everyone dies.
Yeah, it would have to be.
Yeah, and I doing the missions and playing the missions. My favorite mission was that Braithwaite Manor one. That was really cool. But doing the missions, I remember there's a bit where you can go fishing with Dutch and Hosea, and they're singing in the boat. I remember I had a lot of fun doing that one because we had to learn the songs together and stuff, you know.
All right, we have another one back here.
This is a question for Rob. Switching from Red Dead 1 to Undead Nightmare, how weird was it going from other people and other outlaws to zombies?
Yeah, good to see you. It was weird, but it was also, a lot of it was just funny. You know what I mean? It was meant to be funny, so I think that made it easier probably. But, yeah, they always said, whenever we were working on things in Red Dead Redemption and I would have questions, what about this guy? Is this like a really bad guy? And, you know, I would just try and find a reason to, basically to have John be afraid at some point. Like, what, is he really never afraid? And they would always remind me, John is, in this world, John is the toughest guy. He's not afraid of anyone, and he's tougher than everyone. And I always thought, I love every bit of that. That is so cool. In Undead Nightmare, it was more kind of like, this is just wild. See what happens, you know?
Remember, justice must be served as harsh as the situation
I was playing Red Dead 1 the whole time we were making Red Dead 2. I would go back and forth between Red Dead Redemption and GTA 5.
So don't show
the funny, it's the one first time in my life I was able to play video games and say it was for work. My father would be turning over in his grave. So he used to scream at me to get off the damn thing. But yeah, Undead Nightmare is awesome.
So going down like the Dutch is crazy kind of storyline, there's like some theories that like he went crazy because of Hosea's death or because of the trolley accident or just Micah being himself or just that he was always crazy. And I just wonder like which one do you think? Do you think that he was always crazy or like these kind of just sped it up? Or was he, or one of these incidents was the catalyst for him becoming insane in the later part of the game?
Yeah. The beauty is we don't know. You know, there's so many. I love it when writers don't feel obligated to answer every question. I don't know if the trolley was what did it. Hosea definitely that definitely caused something, and Micah filled that gap, much to the gang's detriment. You know, I definitely think that the absence of Hosea definitely accelerated things. But I think what a lot of people say, and I agree with it, is like Dutch was always that way. And it was just different circumstances that made you see him in a different light. But I think he always had the capacity to be the guy that we meet at the end of Red Dead Redemption. And it was just the circumstance in life that made him that. But yeah, I think Hosea going away definitely caused some of that. But he's such a fascinating character, isn't he? I mean, he's in many ways he is the craziest arc. It's bigger than John and Arthur, you know? When we see, I mean, I remember when playing Red Dead Redemption 1, and you don't see Dutch until like the end, and he's talked about the whole game, and then when you finally see him in this wonderful performance by Benjamin Bottom Davis, but then when we see him in Red Dead 2, he's a totally different person. He you know, at the beginning of chapter 1, this guy cares about his gang, you know, he's doing everything he can to make sure that everyone is as safe as possible. And then seeing that at the beginning of Red Dead 2, so the guy who jumps off the cliff at the end of Red Dead 1. What a huge arc. And Ben did an amazing job.
And to have people you know, a bunch of outlaws actually listen to him and do the things that he's asked. They've got to have respect for him. And if he was crazy the whole time, they wouldn't. But I think Hosea had a lot to do with it, because I think Hosea, for whatever reason, picked him and said, "You're going to be my guy." Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think you're right. Totally.
And so that gave him the confidence that he needed, the security that he needed to be the leader that he was.
Hosea was like the angel over his shoulder.
Yeah.
And then when that went away, we got the devil.
Yeah.
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 All right, another one over here.
Both of you, we were wondering if either of you have ever seen the Cowpoke Chronicles on TikTok.
The Cowpoke Chronicles? No.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I have seen it, and it's awesome. It's funny. I mean, you know what's cool about it is that it's people that are doing their impression, right? Or their, and that is funny, and because it's real people. It's not AI. That's basically what I'm getting at. So it's I enjoy it. Now, you know, because there's this whole AI. I'm not trying to go down this road, but yeah, you never know what you're going to hear your own voice saying anymore, because it's
I hate it. I hate it. Sometimes I see Arthur and he's dropping the N-word and stuff. It makes me really upset. You know.
Yeah.
It actually is really upsetting.
No,
But AI is pretty cool in some ways, but when it's not cool that way.
And one over here that was waiting.
You briefly mentioned ad-libbing earlier. Have you ever come across some of your lines? This is a me moment. That wasn't scripted at all.
So one of the writers, one of the main writers, Dan Houser, is also head of the company. So we never really changed there wasn't much, but there was a little bit of improv. But, you know, the script was so wonderfully written that it wasn't as much as there might be on other projects. I remember one bit of improv. There's a bit where it's a precursor to one of the train robbing missions, and it's Arthur and Sean's doing target practice against these bottles, you know? And he's missing. And Arthur comes along and ribs him about it, and then Sean ribs him back, and he's like, "Go on, take your best shot, like punch him in the face." But it was my idea to shoot the bottles, so that we put that in. But for the most part, there wasn't a lot of improv, was there?
No.
Because the owner wrote the script.
All right, we probably have time for one more good question. Who's got a really good one? This guy was raising his hand extra high.
And if you don't get your chance to ask, come on over to our tables after this. We'll be happy to answer whatever you got.
Hey, hi guys.
Hello again.
Thank you for your work.
Take a look. Let me know if you have
My
any
question
questions.
Is, if at some point in the history, Rockstar have planned or the intention to save Arthur, because I ask because you can use a glitch in the game. You can go to Armadillo with Arthur Morgan and complete the side quests for the fossils or make some draw. I don't understand why Rockstar keep that. You know that. I don't know if it was part of something or.
The fact that we did do a few things where Arthur could go to New Austin. Yeah, that is right, but it got cut, and But I think Arthur was always going to die, though. I think that was always going to happen. But I don't know what caused the decision for Arthur not to be able to go to New Austin. I don't know. But that sniper, he's pretty good, isn't he? My gosh. I don't think there's any way to do that. Unless you just want to stay in chapter 5 or something, you know. I know that's a lot of you do that, yeah. You gotta finish my story.
I think I do have time for one more.
Hello. So I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on, obviously Arthur dies, at the end of chapter 6, and then we're all grieving, and then it's cut to John and Abigail arguing, and there's no time to grieve.
It was such a.
Yeah.
I had to put the controller down for a bit. Yeah, because it was like, oh my gosh. But it's yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering what your thoughts are on that. Like,
I thought that was masterfully done.
Yeah.
Because most of us are like, oh, and then boom, life goes on. Just life goes on. Most people don't even remember Arthur. That's one of the things. Is Arthur's. He doesn't become a legend, he's not really spoken that much of. Most of the people who knew Arthur don't even know he dies. Yeah, so good point. No, I haven't. Okay, yeah. I usually play Arthur High Honor, because I prefer those endings. And also, bounty hunters don't bother you.
Well, it's been incredible to have you guys in our living rooms, and now to have you guys in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Thank you.
We'll finish out
That's always flying
with
off the
what
shelves.
would your characters say about Altoona, Pennsylvania? And be brutal if you want.
Who the hell puts American cheese on a pizza? I actually am really curious. I want to try it.
I don't know if you're going to beat that one, but
No, there's no way. I'd say John would say something about the fact that there's got to be several squirrels out there in those trees. He'd probably be real excited about that.
All right, well, we're not going to top that, so let's give him one more big round of applause. Roger Clark, Rob Wiedoff.
I go where I want to go, and I watch what I want to watch.
I feel like I'm always restocking that.
I always name my horse Rob.
Oh, goodness. You know what? I don't remember. I did play a little bit of each one of the games, and I can't remember what I named my horse. But I will tell you, and this is a good time to maybe make this announcement.
I sell at least
I'm
one
going to
of
do a
those every day.
playthrough of Red Dead Redemption, and so I hope you all will join me.
Yeah!
Please help me welcome to the stage Roger Clark and Rob Wiedoff. Come on, folks.
I'm here if you have any questions.
All right. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for joining us. How you doing?
We're well. How's everybody here? All right? Guys, thank you so much for coming. It means we can't. This game is came out in
always flying off the
2018,
shelves.
and here you all still are. Some of you just picked it up a couple of months ago. It means the world to us. We know you hop in cars and drive for hours on end to come and see us. We love you. Thank you for your support. Outlaws for life!
How you liking Chicago so far? I'm going to guess pretty well, it seems like.
Yeah, it's been great. Everybody's so awesome. Thank you, just as Roger just said. But yeah, thank you so
got your
much.
eye on that?
You're all so much fun. And Chicago, too. So the food, I think that there's a place called the Wiener Circle. Is that still something around? We need to go there. They pick a fight with you when you order your food.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I heard those places, yeah. Then they come out with looking for a tip at the end, don't they?
Yeah.
We made the Red Dead 2 out in Long Island. You made the first one in Santa Monica, right? But when we were out, so we know New York pretty well. I lived there for a decade. It pains me to say it, but you got better hot dogs, guys. It's better hot dogs.
That's a hot take. That's gonna get us some comments.
Yeah. Don't ask me about the pizza though.
That's always flying off the shelf.
I'm gonna do that. Well, actually, I do want to talk about recording Red Dead 2. So, Roger, you came into Red Dead 2, and it was already this established thing. Red Dead Redemption was, I mean. What was kind of going through your mind entering this game? Were you familiar with the game?
Yeah, I was. It just so happened. I had taken a huge break from gaming. When I graduated college, I kind of put all the consoles aside.
I sell at least one of those every day.
That was the case for maybe a decade. But then I got back into it, and I remember I went into a GameStop, and I said, I like large world, sandbox, narrative-driven games. What do you got for me? I haven't played in ages.
Did something grab your attention?
And he gave me Skyrim, and he gave me Red Dead Redemption. Yeah. And my wife those were two games that she actually loved to watch because there's horses and there's beautiful scenery in both of them, you know? But yeah, I just finished Red Dead Redemption, and spoilers.
You're pretty focused over there. Anything else you need while you're here?
Yeah, when John Marston bought the farm at the end, I thought I did something wrong. I was trying to go back and going, this can't be right. This is the ending. And then I finally went on the internet and went, oh yeah, it is the ending.
What can I help you with?
But I just finished it, and then a couple of weeks later, I had the first audition for Red Dead 2, and I didn't know it was for Red Dead 2. It's Untitled Video Game Project, as they're all called. Any video game you audition for these days, it's called Untitled Video Game Project. I was looking at the sides, and they asked me to wear boots to the audition, and they asked for like a cowboy accent, and I went, that's so funny. I was just playing a game just like this. And I had no idea what it was until like maybe the third or fourth audition. Yeah, and then I was like, holy cow. And like you say, John Marston is the OG, you know? None of us would be here if it weren't for Rob Weedoff. So I didn't feel any pressure whatsoever.
Okay, real question. How much do you think the boots affected the audition?
Oh, completely. Totally changes your walk. You know, walking is a very important part of voice acting, as we all know. Yeah, I mean, everybody you guys come up to us and say, oh, I loved your voice acting in Red Dead 2, and I love the look on their faces when I go, hey, you want to know? It wasn't voice acting. And I go, right. And they're like, what? And then they look at me like I'm crazy, you know? What in God's earth are you talking about? Like, no, it's like spandex with all the balls and stuff, you know? What good are a pair of boots if you're in a sound booth? I mean, it doesn't make a lick a bit of difference, right? So it helps your gait. It makes you walk like a real cowboy.
Sure. Yesterday we had the cast of Baldur's Gate 3 here, and they were talking about how they didn't consider themselves voice actors. They just, because they do the motion capture. Do you feel the same way?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a proud voice actor, don't get me wrong. When I am one, I wasn't one on Red Dead 2. Not at all. Totally different way to work. They're completely different. It's like theater and film, right?
So, Rob, first of all, when did you hear that John Marston was going to be coming back? For Red Dead 2, sorry.
So, I got a call from the director from Red Dead Redemption, who's the director of all of Rockstar's games. As far as I know, he's done them all.
Yeah, kind of since GTA 4.
Yeah. Really, really cool guy. Anyway, he called me and asked me if I was interested in doing some more work. And I thought, yeah, of course I am. Of course I am. But I didn't understand how, really. I will say, we did Red Dead Redemption, and then a couple months went by, and then we did Undead Nightmare. And while we were working on Undead Nightmare, they had someone from one of the previous GTA games come and play a role in Undead Nightmare. And it was not the same role that he played, and I'm so sorry, I can't remember the guy's name, but this real outrageous character that he got to play for 2 or 3 days in Undead Nightmare. And when they called me, I assumed it was for something like that. You know, some kind of you're not going to be John Marston, you're just going to be this crazy person, and it'll be cool. You know, you can work for a few days, and then, you know, we'll see you later after that. But, so when I learned it was
then, let's get you kitted
a full game. Oh my goodness!
All right, let's have a look-see.
I couldn't wait to get started. I think that the crazy thing was they called me, asked me if I was interested in working, and of course I said yes. But then GTA 5 released, and it was so much bigger than they had anticipated that pushed back the start of Red Dead Redemption 2, at least what I worked on, quite a bit. So, yeah, it was really amazing.
And then when did you find out that John was going to be playable? Because when you went in, John wasn't going to be playable, right? Or am I getting that wrong?
No, you're right. Yeah, they did tell me that. They said you'll probably work. Assume you'll work for a year, but it'll probably be way less than that. But yeah, you're not the playable character, and just so
about
that,
desert
they gave me all the
hunting, isn't
information
there?
I needed
Separates
to
the wheat from the
decide
chaff.
whether I wanted to be part of it or not. And they gave me all of the information I needed. I was there for almost 5 years, and then ended up becoming a playable character. And anyway, again, I would do it again in a second. I'm not upset in any way, I promise you that. But yeah, it was all very confusing when they first reached out to me, because I thought, how is that going to happen? You know?
Okay, well, going back really quickly to the motion capture aspect. Both of you spend a lot of time in Red Dead Redemption 2 on horses. What does that look like in the motion capture studio? Are you on a fake horse? How does the fake horse move? Does the fake horse surprise you at any points?
Oh yeah, we had plenty of fake horses that we dearly loved. They got all the horse animation done in about 2.5 weeks. And we weren't involved. They used the real horse wranglers for that. And looking back on it now, I'm grateful for that. I mean, I can ride, but I'm sure I'm not as good as the horse wranglers. And I'm glad that we didn't have to deal with all that horse shit too.
Right.
So we sat on steel drums, with saddles strapped onto them, with 4 posts sticking out, so that it was dimensionally accurate. All of our sets were dimensionally accurate, but they didn't look at all like what they looked like in the game. That's how the animators were so useful. They would say, hey, okay, this is what it actually looks like, and point at the screen, and we'd go, oh, okay. But the animators did all that magic. They made it, we would be stationary, sat on steel drums, and the animators did the rest. There's only 2 of us up here now, and your appreciation blows our mind, but it took a village. It really did. Literally thousands of people. Yeah. And that's just one example.
That's what I like.
No, they made it look so seamless. Even like with the bouncing, and whether it's a gallop or a canter or what have you, and the way the animators just blended that in seamlessly, you got to take your hat off to them.
So when it was like the full gang is riding, right? Like toward the beginning, were you all like in a line on these fake horses, kind of doing that?
It's for some scenes. If it was a cut scene, yes. If it was in game, not necessarily. It depends on because it's hard to anticipate how the player's going to behave. But for cut scenes, yeah, it was like that. One example that comes to mind is when Dutch and Eagle Flies and all his buddies go and storm the Cornwall's, one of Cornwall's main offices. Yeah, that was all just us in a line. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to add, this is one of the things that really blows my mind. And so the technology, as we know, is just going so fast. And these guys have parameters for these games, right? They have a threshold that they have to reach, but they don't know what that is until they go past it. And so there were so many things. This is the thing, I just can't figure out how you even begin to do this, but they thought that they had the capabilities to do, if we put you all on these barrels and we can make that look like horses, we know we can do that, but to get things, to maximize your potential without knowing what that really is, took a little bit of, they definitely had things that they found, okay, we just can't do that. We can't do it that way, whatever, but I don't know how people's minds work when you don't know what the edge is, because it's never been done before, but yet you're going to find it. It was a really amazing thing.
Well, I mean, that's a theme of this game. So many people playing it found out what a video game could be, like how expansive it was. Okay, Rob, so you played John Marston, obviously, in the first game, but he's older. And I imagine that you came into that role kind of having an idea of John's past. Was the idea that you had of John's past the same that we find in Red Dead Redemption 2?
So, I guess one thing I want to say is that by the end of the work that I did on Red Dead Redemption, I understood the story because I had done enough of the script. But the way that Rockstar does it is they give you the script only in sections. And then, when you go and shoot this stuff, you do it out of order. And I don't know if that's a way to make sure that they keep safe, their property, that way nobody can spoil it, or I have no idea why it's done that way, but I didn't have the full script of Red Dead Redemption when I started working on it. So there was a whole lot of, I would memorize my lines and work with people on the scene, and if the director said, all right, cut, take that, then I would think, okay, now I'm getting an idea of who this guy is and what this is about. But I didn't know until at least halfway to almost the end of the work there, what this guy was all about, who he was, and why he was the way he was. So by the time we started Red Dead Redemption 2, I knew who he became, but I didn't know he was such a punk when he was younger. My goodness. I had no idea. God, that guy was a punk.
So wait. So the sessions, are they linear though? Like, were you recording when you die? Were you recording that before you recorded other scenes where you were alive?
Oh yeah. Okay. And it happened so early on when I was working on Red Dead Redemption. We did all that stuff. I thought, man, this is cool. Like I don't know that much, especially then, know that much about video games, but usually when the player gets shot, like the game engine takes over and makes them crumble down and whatever. And I was like, this must be a big one because they're having me do it. This is a big scene somehow. I had no idea what it meant. I had no idea at the time what it was.
Question for both of you in that case. How many death animations did you do? Like, how many times were they like, okay, die this way, now you die this way, now you die this way?
Not many, because they just go straight into ragdoll physics.
Yeah.
In those instances, if it was a cutscene, now that was a different case. So I'll leave to your imagination which deaths I did. But the in-game stuff, it usually cuts to the physics engine. Yeah.
All right, we're going to get to fan questions in just a second here, but Roger, I did want to talk about you for Arthur Morgan. You took some inspiration from Japanese movies, right? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
From the way I
So-
see it.
Some of you may know this and some of you mightn't, but there's an amazing parallel between Kurosawa movies from the 50s and 60s, especially when he was doing like samurai movies like The Seven Samurai and Yojimbo and Sanjuro, and these all went on to become adapted as westerns, Yojimbo was Fistful of Dollars, and Seven Samurai is The Magnificent Seven, and one actor that all those films had in common was this fella called Toshiro Mifune, who I think is just one of the best actors of the 20th century. So he was a huge inspiration for Arthur Morgan, because there's some weird similarities between samurais and outlaws, especially a wandering Ronin samurai, And I thought, oh, that's such a unique way to look at a cowboy, but it kind of works. And Toshiro, he could be funny one minute and definitely terrifying the next. And I just really rated the way he worked. So I totally took inspiration from that, yeah.
You did that intensity shift. Like, Arthur's happy, Arthur is deadly serious, real fast.
And I have Mr. Mifune to thank for that. And obviously the wonderful writing and all that too,
Absolutely. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to fan questions. First one is from Curtis. What would you name your horse?
Maybe that's everyone's right.
I always name my horse Rob.
You seem to live by your own rules.
Oh, goodness. You know what? I don't remember. I did play a little bit of each one of the games, and I can't remember what I named my horse. But I will tell you, and this is a good time to maybe make this announcement. I'm going to do a playthrough of Red Dead Redemption, and so I hope you all will join me.
About time.
Yeah, it'll be hopefully it'll be really fun, and maybe I'll take a poll and everybody can help me name my horse.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see that, man.
Okay, so the audience will help you with that one. Next question. Okay. At what point in the story of Red Dead 2 did you feel that Dutch fully became a villain? Because I mean, in the beginning, he's cordial and friendly and helping you out.
No, it was so cool. Because we all loved Red Dead Redemption, and the Dutch we see in that game is not the Dutch we see at the beginning of Red Dead 2 by any means. They're almost polar opposites. I mean, Dutch at the beginning of Red Dead 2, he cares about people, he cares for his gang, he wants to make sure everyone's safe. He's this good leader. But to answer your question, I think it was when Hosea. I think that's when the angel came off of his shoulder and it was replaced by a devil. And I think that's when, I mean, I think the downward spiral happened even before Red Dead 2 takes place.
Look at you.
Because we hear that crazy, he shoots that girl called Jenny at the Blackwater Massacre.
In a bad way.
In a bad way, too. So I think the journey is, the descent has already began. But I think when we see, from what we know, when Hosea gets it, I think that's the real shift.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's probably true, too.
Yeah, sure. Oh, okay. We're applauding Hosea's death scene. All right, great. I love that. Okay, so, you don't work with the animators that much, right? Like, how did you have any say? There's no question there. Any Easter eggs from the visuals created, had the idea for, that appear in the game or
I'm so sorry, go ahead. No, you go ahead. Did you say we don't work with the animators? Is that how you started that off?
Oh, yes, like designing the visuals of the game. Because somebody asked if there was a visual Easter egg that you might know of and had some hand in creating that maybe everybody else doesn't know.
No.
It's hard to hear with these mics, right?
No. Most of the design had already been done by the time they were contacting it, because you've got to know the dimensions of the city, and they can't change the shape of the house after we've already done it, because we might go through a wall, So we did work with a handful of animators, but not with all of them, obviously, because that would have been information overload. But we did have like 3 or 4 who were like our main points of communication, getting in to see what their needs and requirements were. And I remember it's totally different from working on film, because on film you keep doing it until the director's at me, cut, take that, great. And that's what most of the time that's what happened on the game too. Except an animator would go, "I'm sorry, we need to do it again." Yeah, his foot needs to be 2 inches more that way. Like, are you kidding me? But then you start to realize why they actually need that, so they can blend in and out of cutscenes seamlessly. And it was really, really educational process. But yeah, we worked with a handful, but all the design had already been done by the time we were actually performing the scene.
Same, yeah. Just what he said.
That leads right into the next question. It wasn't because it just disappeared. Besides jelly beans, what snacks do you think John Arthur would eat on the road?
Thanks for all the jelly beans. I wish I said whiskey now, all those years ago. But jelly beans is nothing to do with Red Dead. That was just me on cameo. Thank you for all the jelly beans.
Yeah. And just so you know, I shouldn't tell you this, but just so you know, if I'm ever at a convention, Roger's not there, and you bring me jelly beans asking me if I'll hit Roger, there's no chance those jelly beans are getting to Roger. Just know that I'll tell you. Those are my deadlines, man.
Has anybody ever had those Harry Potter ones that half of them are terrible? Oh, man. That's living life dangerously.
It's the Russian roulette of snack food.
It's a 50-50 chance, man. You never know what you're gonna get.
Oh, yeah.
And that was dark.
You think
That's
I'm
Forrest
afraid of
Gump
you,
during
fool?
Halloween. Oh, sorry.
I actually remember the question that disappeared. So you were talking about like taking things again as your first, whatever, to nudity. Was there anything, and this question is for both of you, was there anything that you felt especially happy with that didn't end up making it into the final product?
I don't think I can say there was. There was something that I really thought was going to be something that everybody would enjoy a lot, and I don't think that they put it in, but I'll show you real quick. So one of the things that we do is we have to do all these different walks, right? And runs and all these things. At one point, I was doing just walking back and forth on the stage, right? What's it called? A boarding walk on the board. And I thought, I don't know what that looks like, you know, but I don't even know why I'm doing it. So I asked, and they said, you know, sometimes people play these games and they're just going to have you walk just to see what happens, right? And I thought, well, okay, so I'm trying to pretend like I'm bored, you know, picking stuff, whatever. And then all of a sudden, I just decided, if I'm bored, we want to see what happens, let's give them something. So I'm doing my boardwalk, and then I turned around and went, come on! Because you want to see what's going to happen, right? That would have been I thought that would have been funny, but I don't think they put it in the game.
Well, now we have the footage, so hopefully somebody will take this. Any animators in the room, come on, give him what he wants.
Hello, Mrs. LeClerc.
Okay. Ooh.
Killed my husband.
A real simple one, but this is great. What's your favorite Western?
Your husband. That little milksop.
I think mine's Tombstone.
I imagine yeah, rest in peace, Val Kilmer. I love Tombstone too. But I think my favorite is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I love that one. Yeah, I love so many though.
And he was
Favorite,
begging for
and
his
it's
life.
your favorite out of that trilogy too.
Really.
Or are you counting all of those
to
together?
it. Help!
That's my favorite one of the trilogy. The trilogy's awesome, you know. But that was a masterpiece. It was like an epic, you know. And then they brought the whole Civil War into it, and it was done on such a bigger scale because. Yeah, it was Leone, right? That was his name. He was so good.
That's one down, 3 to go.
And that's where that song comes from, right?
Ennio Morricone, I think his name was. Yeah,
We should be in touch.
Yeah, he was in Hateful Eight. He actually did Hateful Eight for Quentin Tarantino, and then he passed away like a year or two later. But yeah, he also amazing. The Italians were awesome back in the '60s. And then they would film it in Spain, you know, but it was spaghetti westerns are my personal, I love that little sub-genre.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of music, is there a particular sequence in either of the games that really moved you, a musical sequence?
That's right. Yeah, that was cool. All that was really fun. I enjoyed that. In fact, you know what? We did a lot more of that house building stuff, and I enjoyed every bit of it because I do construction and have my entire life, so I thought it was cool. But they had people testing the game, and they were like, yeah, this is awesome, but it's not that awesome. Like, and so they cut a bunch of it. I don't know what they cut actually, but yeah, that was a lot longer than what you saw.
Have you ever been on the testing floor?
Oh, you mean game?
Yes, yeah.
No, but I met a couple of them. I met a lot of them, actually. A lot of them are young, you know, but it's funny because they walk in having one idea what it is and walk out with a completely other one, you know, because it's such a huge sandbox, and you got to anticipate how are they going to try and break the game. So, like, sometimes they're just walking the whole length of the map, you know, just trying to find bugs. It's quite a job, actually, and I mean, where would we be without them? How many games do we see come out now on opening day that aren't ready? You know, that's why I'm so grateful to the game, all the testers for Rockstar Games. You were awesome. There weren't that many patches needed on Red Dead 2. That was awesome.
From Maxwell, if you could ride any of the big animals as your steed, which animal would you ride? I guess besides horse is the intention there. Tell you what, I'll up that. If you could ride any large animal in real life, what would it be?
Probably a horse. That's what I would choose first. But if I was getting crazy, maybe I'd ride an elephant. That would be cool, right?
I want to fly. So can I, like, maybe get a really big eagle or a Pegasus or something? That would be awesome. Yeah.
Pegasus is technically a horse?
It's not really a horse, is it? No. But it's got wings, so I'll take it. Or if I was in the game, I'll do that big, massive white crocodile. That was awesome. I remember once some guys, hey, Raj, asked me to do something in-game. I went, okay, get that crocodile to chase you all the way from Le Gras up into the mountains in Coulter. And he did it. It took him forever, right? Respect to that guy.
Real quick, tech folks, we're seeing a lot of the same questions show up. I just want to point that out. Like those two. Oh, great! What was the most emotional scene you got to work on in either game?
Oh, so for me, this is very, very easy to answer. So when you're on the performance capture stage, the volume is what they call it, there are however many actors are in the scene. Then you've also got the director, you've got a couple animators on there, sound guy, a bunch of producers. But in total, what would you say, there's 15 people from Rockstar or so? Yeah. And as long as you're not wearing anything with reflective tape on it, the cameras can't see you. So the majority of them were off to the side just to be out of the way, and they had like computers and were doing different things as we were working. But there were also, I don't know if there were 50 or however many people that worked for Rockstar in the same building, but just upstairs, and they would do
polishing and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what. Yeah,
just make sure that all the data was good.
Yeah,
for what we were doing.
And then from there it would go on to other people do to all the other things that they do, whatever. So what was so cool though is that at the end of the performance capture schedule, they do what they call a glue shoot, and it's about 2 or 3 weeks long, whatever, where they fix things like Roger was saying. Your foot has to move 3 inches, whatever. So they get it down to where you do all these little tiny clips that just make it easier for them to make it look right. You know what I mean? And so we got all that stuff done, and then the very last scene we did was that scene between Arthur and John, where Arthur gives John his hat, and they brought all the people down that had been upstairs working. And this is, you know, for us, we had been going, you know, in and out of there for almost 5 years. Some people full 5 years, whatever. But these people have been working on this, building the world and all the stuff that they do for twice as long, probably, if not longer. And we finally got to this stage in the production of this game where we were going to be done with the performance capture. They brought everybody down on the stage. We did that scene. At that time, Roger and I knew exactly what that moment meant in the game. And so it was a combination of us knowing what that meant to the story and the fact that everybody that had been working on it, at least that we had met, right? We were all together, and I don't know how many takes we did, 3 or 4, whatever, but when the director finally said, cut, take that, like the entire room erupted with this just really emotional, like, oh my goodness, we did it. You know, it was just such a moment for a lot of reasons. So that for me, for sure, was it. I will never forget that.
Follow that up.
Yeah, that was pretty epic. I I think for me it was my first first death. It's funny, you know. Some people, sometimes I'll say, hey, what ending did you get? And then they'll go, oh, I got the good ending. And I always make a joke of that. I'm like, what? The good ending? But it was this end. It's high honor helping John. I think that's the best ending. I don't know. It's up to you, whatever you want. But I think, for me, that's the canon ending because the game's called Redemption, right? And what good is money to Arthur? He's going to obviously help his brother, right? So that was the first ending that we did, the high honor version where he sees the sun. And I was terrified because I knew this scene was coming for over 4 years, but I didn't know exactly how and I didn't know all the fine little details. But when we finally did that, I was nervous because I wanted to make sure I did it justice. And it was like saying goodbye to this character that I had worked on for 5 years. I'd never spent so long on one contract before. So that was very emotional for me. And I was nervous, but yeah. Thank you.
So, I mean, you must have such a bond with your fellow castmates. Do you keep in touch still?
Yeah, we are a gang. We're still we still have the same text thread. Yeah, we spent so long with each other, and not just that, but on a project that we couldn't talk about except with each other. You know, so it was no one else to communicate about what we were working on except with each other. So we got very, very much all on the same page, literally, in so many different ways. And then I still get to see this guy, you know, once or twice a month still. My God. And then sometimes Dutch will come along and Sadie and Micah, yeah, even Micah, yeah. He's a really funny guy, fun oddly enough, yeah.
Yeah, it is incredible. We got to, it's such a unique experience we got to have. And I think it really meant a lot to us all then, and it still means a lot to all of us now. So we're very, very fortunate people. It could have been anybody. And we're the lucky ones that got chosen. We all appreciate that. We have all enjoyed, you know, the experience working on the project, and we've all enjoyed hanging out with each other afterwards. It's a good crew of people.
And we appreciate you guys too. Thanks for still enjoying Red Dead. Yeah.
I think everybody would agree that community, not just with the cast, but everybody working on that, comes through in the game, and that's the reason it still, what'd you say, 7 years ago it came out, but still people are playing it, still people are enjoying it. If you were to come back on another project with the rest of your castmates, what kind of project would you like it to be?
Oh, gee. Maybe table tennis 2? That was a pretty good Rockstar game, wasn't it? Yeah. Alright, don't kill me now, cowpoke.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think we would all like to see something more from this Red Dead series, I think, right? I promise you, I don't know anything more than you do, but I would really love to do it. I know everybody this week.
They should do a Mario Kart. But yeah, a Mario Kart. But instead of little scooters, it's like maybe do those tiny little horses. What do you call? What are they called? From the north. What are they called?
Shetland ponies.
Shetland ponies. Yes. And they can throw banana peels in front of each other and stuff like that. That would be awesome.
Dutch as the Bowser character, just like...
Yeah, or Donkey Kong, you know? Who's Luigi? That's a big question. Which one of us is Luigi? Ooh, I'll take Luigi. You first. Yeah.
Everybody loves Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion, yeah. That's where... My son's still playing that, actually, yeah. It's pretty good.
Actually, what are you both playing right now?
I'm playing a game called Rosewater. It's on Steam. I'm in it. It's pretty cool. It's fun. Yeah. Came out a couple weeks ago. Rosewater. Check it out.
Yeah, I'm not playing anything at the moment. I am going to try to become more of a gamer. That's a goal of mine.
We'll help you, Rob. We'll definitely watch that. We'll watch you figure out how to do the buttons.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the time Bonnie McFarlane saves you, you'll know how to play the game.
Well, yeah, right? But it's going to be brutal. So anyone, I apologize in advance. But I think that it's a weird thing for me because I'm a character in a video game. Everybody assumes that I'm also a gamer. And I just haven't been. I don't know, but I want to be. So we're going to give it a shot. We'll see what happens.
I love that stuff, too. Watching Nolan North play all the Uncharted. And when he started, he was useless. But by the end of it, he was a demon. But what I really love is it kind of reminds me of what the director's cut on DVD commentaries used to be. Do you all remember that? So when you're watching Nolan North play his game and you're hearing all the behind-the-scenes stories, and it's really, really cool. And you're like, oh my god, you see all those cutscenes in a completely different way. And then Ned Luke did it for GTA 5, and you gotta do it for the first one.
Well, I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. And then somebody's gonna have to play Red Dead Redemption 2 at some point. I wonder who would do that.
Yeah, I'll do it. Okay, go on. All right.
We're holding you to that. C2E2 next year. If we don't see the start of that, we're going to be really upset. Okay, so questions again. What's your character's favorite drink?
Are we talking about alcohol, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Unless you really just love a Sprite.
I just love milk. I just love 2% milk so much. If I'm drinking Miller Lite. And if, you know what? Yeah, I don't know. That's just my thing. He knows I wouldn't go to certain bars just because they didn't serve Miller Lite.
Yeah, no matter where we are, I always hear somewhere, you got Miller Lite? Oh, okay. I'll take Bud Light.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's total Miller Lite all the way. I like a good, wow, I think mine's the same as Arthur. I like a beer and a shot. You know, Irish whiskey. It's my favorite. It's nice and smooth. Yeah. Maybe a martini. Martinis are like breasts. One's not enough and three's too many.
The next question is, what's your favorite quote from the game? But I think, I don't know, favorite quotes, let's end it there. But what is your favorite quote from the game?
Mine is, you eat breasts. You eat babies.
Yeah, it's one of them Freudian slips.
Oh no, what have I done? That was a joke. You Eat Babies is definitely my favorite. Now I'm going to be signing people's prints. You eat...
You smell like your shit took a shit. I like that one. I said that once. It happened today too, actually, but today wasn't so bad. Sometimes when I'm doing selfies on Facebook, I said that to them. Did not make them smile. At all. I was like, no, it's from the game. It's from the game. Why would you say that? Like, no, you smell fine. Honest. I felt awful.
Sorry. There are a lot of Arthur Morgan cosplays out there right now. What's your favorite cosplay? You've done a couple of these. What is your favorite cosplay that you've ever seen? First from Red Dead, but then anything else as well.
Oh my gosh.
We've seen some awesome Red Dead cosplays.
Yeah. It's really hard to pick a favorite. My goodness, there are so many talented people. Really amazing.
You know what separates the men from the boys, though, is like John's feather. Oh, and the pinstripe jeans.
Yes, yeah.
And if Arthur's belt buckle, I've seen people 3D print that. But honestly, it's when there's a whole, I mean, some people like, we've had like 10 That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like whoever's Micah had to draw, they obviously drew the short straw, you know? The best one I've ever seen though is Joey West, who is here this weekend, one of the best voice actors alive. And it's from Futurama, you know, Richard Nixon, the cryogenic Richard Nixon head. Some guy came in as that. That was one of the best cosplays I've ever seen.
Wait, how did that work?
He was just stood in like a Dalek, for lack of a better term, like a Dalek, like base that his body was in, and he would walk along, and then that was the podium for the head. And he had like a sound filter on to make him sound like a cryogenically frozen Richard Nixon head. Yeah, he was amazing. And the lights and everything, he had this greenish tinge going up against his, oh, he looked amazing.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, I know we're wrapping up here. Were there any slang terms from the Wild West that you learned on this game that you really liked? And I'll open that up. Was there anything about the West that you learned from these games that really changed your perception of it, maybe?
So the writers were British, and there were certain things where I would go onto the set and I'd say, I don't know what this word is. I don't even know how to say it. And I would say, this is what it is. This is how you say it. This is what it means. Whatever. And they would keep it. But sometimes they would say, if you don't know what that word is, maybe it doesn't belong here because maybe you know that that's not accurate. I don't know. Not that I was there. Not that I was the one that they came to. To get those questions answered, but there were times where I thought I just have never heard that before. I have no idea what that means. But I don't think that they taught me. I don't think they taught me anything new necessarily. That stayed in the game, if you know what I mean. I will say that reminded me. That question reminded me of going out to Tombstone, Arizona. Yeah, right. It was being out there was an amazing experience, but it made me recognize. You know, we flew out there in planes, and then we took a bus, and it was on a nice paved road, and then you finally get to Tombstone, and you recognize there's not a whole lot out there, and also on the journey from the airport to Tombstone, there's not like trails that these people. I'm sure back in the day there were ways to get through this desert that was full of cacti and rocks and snakes and spiders and scorpions and all this crazy stuff. I think that seeing that and recognizing people rode their horses through that stuff, those were the real deal. And I wasn't one of them. And I don't know if I... But that was fascinating. Man, people really did this. They went through this and got down here. It was rough.
But I learned there's not many F-bombs in Red Dead 2. There's very few. And that's because it wasn't really a curse word back then, apparently. And if it was, but there's a book out. Me and Rob visited this guy. He's a fella, a history professor who teaches at University of Tennessee in Knoxville, and he wrote a book called Red Dead and he teaches a course of American history around the context of Red Dead 2. So obviously it's not geographically accurate, but culturally it's kind of, he investigates what is accurate and what isn't. But yeah, Red Dead history is a pretty cool book. I learned a lot of cool stuff from that.
And wrapping up here, this will be our last question. In both of your opinions, what is the real ending?
I already said, yeah, I think it's high honor helping John. For me, that's the most peaceful ending he's gonna get.
Yeah, what he said. I'm not gonna do that again. No, I think it's everybody's got their own opinion of that, right? I think it's however you
Beauty of it.
Yeah, however you decide to play the game. That's the thing, and I love it so much. I think this is why this game, one of the reasons why this game is enjoyed so much by so many people, is that you have a story that's in place, but you have so much creative control on your own. And I think people appreciate that. And it makes you really, really get sucked into it. And then when bad things happen, you feel that. You do not like that. And when good things happen, you celebrate that. You enjoy those things. You know, so I think that it would really be to each person to determine what the best inning is on their own, I think, is the best answer. My best answer.
That is a phenomenal answer. All right. Folks, thank you so much for joining us. Quick reminder, everybody, if you want to watch this panel again or any other panel, visit us at thepopverse.com/memberships. Now, please, everybody, one more time, Roger Clark and Rob Weedoff. Thank you so much, guys.
Howdy, y'all. This is Roger Clark from Red Dead Redemption 2. You're watching Fandom Spotlight like all good cowboys.
Hallo. Ey, wo bist du? Komm her. Where are you? Where are you? Come to me, come to me.
Red Dead Redemption, you could cheat. You could cheat at cards if you wore the special outfit. And I would get caught cheating on purpose so that I could practice, because then if you got caught, they'd take you outside and you'd have a duel. And I would practice my duels that way. So that was really cool. I enjoyed that. But for for Red Dead 2, I think one of my favorite pastimes, you know, just when I was just messing around, I picked it up since COVID. But what I used to really love doing was just go around hunting and fishing. I love doing that. That was really awesome.
Now they're right out in that hallway, and they want to hear you scream and yell and yeehaw as they come up here. Let's bring up some of the cast of Red Dead Redemption. No pushing, no shoving. Okay, well, you can push and shove if you want.
How y'all doing?
So the first thing I would like to do is go down here. There's a reason I did not introduce them each by name, even though I know their names, but I want them to introduce themselves, their character, and their favorite line. You want to hear their favorite line in the character
I thought
voice?
you said they'd be here. That's what I thought. Is this them?
Hi everyone, my name is
Oh.
Roger Clark. You
Well,
might
there
know
they
me better
are
as
in the
Arthur
wagon.
Morgan. And my favorite line is
That's her.
I think it's
Whoa there. You all looking for the Twin Rocks gang?
Isn't everybody?
I got them for you. In the back.
My name is Rob Weedoff.
Go
I
ahead.
played the role of John Marston.
Count them up. They're all there.
And I think it's so hard to pick.
God
But,
damn.
probably
1, 2, 2.5. Let me get you your money. That's something. Bringing all them boys in, you know.
Bounty hunting ain't so hard. Any fool can do it.
I ain't so sure.
I think everyone here is.
How about you there? You fool enough to try? Become a bounty hunter? There's a board up at most every jailhouse and post office. The sheet's going up regular. All you need is a license, which the sheriff will sell you. You can take down a poster and go. Live, get your full price. Dead, a little less. You go after one of the big ones, I'll tell you what I know about it, as a favor. Worst that can happen is they kill you.
There's only 9. I counted them twice.
There was 10 when I pulled up. I know you're hiding out there. You got 10 seconds to turn yourself in. 10,
That's really
9,
where it's at. But
8,
let me start you out with
7,
this question
6,
for all of you.
5,
Your performance involved motion
3,
capture, so now,
2,
No, please.
performance capture.
1.
Please, no.
And that was like new technology, and you had to wear these suits and cameras on your.
There's your tip.
Mishaps or adjustments?
Clean it up,
getting used to those
Archibald.
things that you'd like to share?
If it ain't all here,
we would often
I will be
had
back.
Tusks, you know.
I'm
and
sure you
probably seen
will.
Behind-the-scenes stuff.
That one there might want a bounty hunting license. Help him out, won't you?
Yeah, we would have a camera.
That true? You want a license?
Shining right in our face.
How the money, huh?
All of the facial
Well, if you don't have it now, you can come and get a license when you do. They sell them wherever they hang them posters. Good luck now.
You know, and it was very difficult to do kissing scenes. I remember all the kissing scenes that I had with Micah. We had to cut them, you know, because the tusks just kept getting in the way. Unfortunately, because some of those were really real solid gold, you know.
Really?
But yeah, the tusks very, very difficult. You get used to them eventually, though. But at first, yeah, it takes some getting used to.
Do you kiss now with the tusks on, with no problem?
Oh, I'm old hat at it now. Yeah, it's no problem. Yeah.
I would just like to say, and hopefully this will be fixed sometime in the future, if not already, but anytime you have to go to the restroom, you have to go back into a room where they re-ROM you, meaning they realign all of your little computer balls. But only the women. The men could use the restroom without disturbing them. So if you were a woman and you had to go to the restroom, you might want to hold it for the rest of the day. So sexism everywhere. It's not fair.
I find it difficult to believe men would go to the bathroom without readjusting their balls. Any other thoughts?
Just to, Sean did have a few scenes where he had to kiss someone, and it was very difficult with the tusks, but the magic of the animators actually kind of made it work to make it look really nice and romantic and lovely and all the rest of it, so didn't have much of a problem with that.
I just want to add, too, that if you could only see the room with all of us in it, trying to be these tough cowboys. And we've got cowboy boots on, but we have gun holsters, but we have spandex suits on. And we're all walking around being these real tough cowboys. I'm sure that we looked ridiculous. I'm very happy that it turned out to be very different than what we saw actually.
Well, I do want people to raise their hands with questions, and while I'm coming out there, a quick question. Working on this game, has it inspired you to learn more about the actual history of the real Old West, or just ride a horse? Anything like that?
Yeah, actually, I have to say, the game is brilliant in terms of how it's really kind of sharp on the history, and I know there was a book written recently, wasn't there? Wasn't it? By Tor, yeah. All about the history of the Wild West through the eyes of Red Dead Redemption, so that's kind of really cool. And yeah, it was kind of interesting for me just to kind of see just the influence of so many Irish fellas who came over here and went off to the Wild West, made their fortunes. Instead of digging ditches, they'd dance and jig, and they just all kind of got involved in that lifestyle. So that's been a real revelation for me to learn about. Yeah.
Something that I've known my whole life is, so there's an old cowboy gang that's real. It's a real. You can Google it, read all about them, and I suggest that you do because it's really kind of cool. But they're called the Reno Brothers, and they were the first band of outlaws that did a train robbery in the United States. And what's cool about that, no, really nothing is cool about that, honestly, but what's coincidental about that is that the Reno Brothers robbed the very first train in the United States of America in my hometown. And so, yeah, of course, once I don't know how many years went by before I really thought how coincidental that is that I get to play this really cool character in a video game that robs trains and banks and all this stuff that actually happened in my hometown. Actually, this tattoo, I don't know if you can see it from where you all are, but that's a train, 1866. That's the year the Reno Brothers robbed the first train in the United States. So read about it if you want to. It's pretty interesting.
Are you descended from them? I'm just curious.
I'm not allowed to talk about it. I can neither confirm nor deny that.
All right. We have a question over here.
You guys have been working on the game for like so many years doing motion capture. How hard was it not to blow the whistle on anything, like secrets?
It was pretty easy not to do it. Those NDAs are pretty strict. That was a very strong encouragement not to break our NDAs. But I would tell everyone, oh, I'm working on a video game, you know, and that's what I said the first year, that's what I said the second year, and by the time we were getting 4 or 5 years in, some people were starting to think I was full of it, you know, and they were saying, you know, Raj, we get it, you know, being an actor isn't that easy, but you don't need to make up work, you know, we still love you. And I was like, no, seriously, I'm in a video game. And I went, yeah, okay, sure you are. But no, it was very strict, but you know, at the same time, we don't want it spoiled for you guys, you know? It's the worst thing in the world, leaks sometimes, because, you know, even if you see something when it's not ready to be seen, it's just awful. I really feel for the studios, and it's not good for us either. So, yeah, secrecy was not a problem, but we had no one to talk about with the gang except each other, you know?
My husband is here, and there was one night. Hi, Scotty. You can wave. That's my husband. There was one night a couple years in that I actually had a dream that I told people what I was working on, and I woke up so afraid that I had broken my NDA that I had to wake him up. I was like having a panic attack. I was like, that was a dream, right? I didn't say anything, right? I didn't like go on Facebook and say something. I mean, they were not kidding. Like we knew that if we made a mistake, it could cost us our job. But for all the reasons that Roger said, like they just want it to be, they want the fans to discover it at the right time when it's ready.
All right, I'm gonna come up there. Quick question though, when people would ask you about what you're working on, you ever think about making up like all the video games about space and, you know, just tell people different stuff that has no basis in reality? You're not violating the NDA.
To answer that, to just with that point you made, Roger actually auditioned for a play that I was doing years ago, back when everybody was dumping ice cube bats over their heads. And he got the part because he's awesome, and he's brilliant, and he's amazing. And he had to come back and tell us. He says, I can't do it, guys. You know, I got this other gig. And fair enough to him, he didn't mention anything about it. And then when I eventually got involved a few years later, I walk in the room and there's Roger in his scuba suit with his balls all over him. And he's like, oh, they got you doing this shit now too? So it's all very secretive, yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So if your characters were alive in 2025, what kind of jobs would they do?
Helmet tester.
No, I feel like Susan would be some sort of CEO. I feel like she's in charge.
I don't know, John. I've heard this question before. I love this question because it does make me think. But I guess because I enjoyed playing the role so much that I kind of feel like John would do what I have done, right? So he would be a complete raging lunatic on TikTok. And he would, but no, I think he would do like construction work probably. I think he'd probably fit into that crowd pretty well.
Amazon delivery driver.
Anyone else? As long as none of them work for Doge, we're good. Okay. Let's get over here. I'll be back, and I'll be back.
Hey, so when I went into Red Dead, I did it pretty blindly. I had no idea what I was in for. And I was kind of expecting just a shoot 'em up kind of cowboy game. And obviously, it's a lot more emotional than that. What sort of scenes did you guys feel like you were grappling with when you were doing the voice acting? What surprised you? Like, what did you connect with when you were doing it?
I'll start by saying it's tricky because when we say voice acting, that implies that we're not doing acting with our whole selves, which really tight to this day. I can tell you that the actress who plays Tilly, Mia Davis, she and I have become extraordinarily close. And in the last year of the game, she was pregnant. She had gotten married and she was pregnant with her son, Mason, who we all know really well. And so I got to do that scene where I send her off into the world and I say, you've grown into a fine young woman. You'll be all right. I just know it. And she and I looked at each other, and just like I'm getting choked up now, she and I were just weeping. because we knew it was coming to an end and changing.
Obviously, a lot of it's shot out of sequence. So when you learn something about what's going to happen to your character and you don't quite know how long they're going to be in the world and in the game, and you know that this has happened, that can be kind of tough when you go back to shoot more scenes later on, knowing that there is some sort of a tragic end coming. So that kind of lent a lot more emotional weight for me personally. But also outside of the game, I will say, like, being involved with all these guys, when we get to see each other outside the game, it's amazing how much the friendships have developed when you're working like a day at a time here and there. But to actually kind of get to see them at events like this, and also to meet all of you guys, is absolutely one of the most amazing kind of experiences for me personally in this. So that's my 2 cents.
So there was a very different character, I guess, really, that I played between Red Dead Redemption, where John was this grown man who knew, you know, had a sense of purpose and was, I don't know if he was mature or what, but he was strong and he respected himself, at least, right? And then I went and started working on Red Dead Redemption 2, where John's younger, and he was such a punk. I thought, I can't stand this guy. I mean, I'd love to play the role, still I did, but it was difficult to go from what I knew to what now I'm doing this other thing where I thought, this is frustrating. I don't like this.
You did a great job. Yeah. It was amazing seeing John as a younger man in Red Dead 2 from the John that we all got to know in the first Red Dead Redemption. I remember, I knew pretty early on that Arthur was going to meet his, spoilers, demise, but we didn't film those until the last year. Because as you may know, there's 4 different endings for Arthur. There's the high and low honor version of helping John, and then there's the high and the low honor version of going back for the money. And although I knew that what was written in the wind, I didn't know the exact details of the scene until about a week or 2 before we filmed it. And yeah, I was a little nervous because I knew how iconic John's ending was. And yeah. With Arthur, it's kind of different, because with John, it's this sharp shock. You don't see it coming, but with Arthur, you see it coming. It's a long, slow struggle. And yeah, doing those, that was a little nerve-wracking, because I wanted to do it justice, you know?
All right, question over here.
Thank you. My name's Henry, and I just wanted to ask a question. If you guys could act or voice act in...
I have a question back here.
Hi. I never played the game. I know. I'm sorry. But I have an interesting question, say so the least. So we all know, I'm not the only one, we're all excited for GTA 6. Okay, no clap. Okay, I'm sorry. So we're all excited for GTA 6. So after that, everyone's gonna say, what's the next game? So here's my question. Red Dead Redemption 3 when?
It's coming out tomorrow, man. Where have you been?
Yeah. And by the way, why do you care?
All right.
It's out tomorrow after lunchtime. Hope you like it.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll do this. I'll have my friend freeze me and wake me up in 50 years. It'll be out by then. Thank you.
Well, it takes such a long time now. You know, I remember Red Dead 2 was the first. I think Red Dead 2 was the first game where it was all studios were working on the same title, and I'm sure GTA 6 is no different. But yeah, we all know, we get asked that question a lot, and the answer is, we don't know. And if we did know, we would tell you that we don't know. But yeah, I'd be, but honestly, I'm just guessing now, I'd be very surprised if we've seen the last of Red Dead Redemption. It did so well, but I think it's gonna be a while. Might be a while, yeah.
Hey guys, how are you? Doing good? I had a question. You know how like certain like toy companies come out with like video game figures and whatnot? We have never gotten Red Dead Redemption figures. I would love to have an Arthur Morgan, a John Marston, a Mrs. Grimshaw, and a Sean figure, you know, and Landon Ricketts too. I mean, we're talking about the 3rd game. you know, possibly in the future, I think we should go back and explore Landon Ricketts.
Yeah, I remember there was a really cool statue of Max Payne that Rockstar sold. There is an Arthur doll. It's not endorsed by Rockstar at all, but it's like a 12-inch action man. It's really cool, actually. But yeah, no Funko Pops, no Rockstar. They go to the beat of their own drum, you know. So, but I can't have no say on it. You know, we have no idea. We have no say what they license and what they do license. But yeah, some toys. Yeah, that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Yeah.
It's pretty cool, actually, when you go to some of these kind of cons and the fans, you're also creative in many, many different ways. We get lots of gifts sometimes, like artwork, and, you know, I've gotten one or two Sean Maguire Funkos. People have created themselves. So that's always really special and neat, you know?
Thank you.
Well, I don't want a John action figure. I want a Rob action figure. How's that?
Hello. I love the game. Every time I pass like any sort of nature, I think of Red Dead. I was wondering what kind of input did you have on the game, or any type of input, and
There you are.
if
Still a good
you didn't
soul,
get
huh?
much freedom, I was wondering
That's
what
nice.
would you change, or
Real
what would you
nice. But your new
add
friend,
to the game
Marshall,
if you could?
he's having problems. More problems.
Well,
with
one
your
of the
even
main
newer
writers
friend,
on the
Montez.
game was Dan
They're
Houser,
in the,
who is
sheriff's
one of the
office
founding
in
members of
Valentine.
Rockstar Games.
He asked
So
me to
we didn't
ask
complain
you
about the
if you
writing
could
that
bring
much because it was our boss. I remember that would happen quite a bit
Can you
because
do
there was
that?
a lot of writers. There was
Yeah,
3
I
main
thought
ones.
you could.
But
Let's get going.
sometimes our wonderful director, you know, we'd be working on a scene, and Rod would go, "Who wrote this?" And someone will go, "Oh, it was Dan." Oh. Let's keep it then, okay. To be honest, the writing, for me anyway, I thought the writing was so good. There really wasn't the desire to do much ad-libbing. But I know that the few times that we did do it, you know, we were always listened to, and our input was valued. And but for the most part, you know, we stuck to the script because that's your job, you know. But the few times I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but there was a bit of ad-libbing. But yeah, Dan Houser did an amazing job.
There is one thing that used to annoy the hell out of me was how all the characters would pronounce the name Colum. And I'm like, it's C-O-L-M with an Irish accent, Colum. Like, what's so hard about that? And I remember having conversations with Roger, who grew up in Sligo, so he knows lots of columns as well. And he would tell me, yeah, I've been telling them, I've been talking to them, I've been asking them, can we just pronounce it properly? And then one day I got a script.
They wouldn't listen.
Yeah, but one day I got a script, and it was of myself and Kieran O'Driscoll, I think. And I'm threatening to beat him up unless he pronounces the word column properly. So that's a moment right there where they did listen, I suppose. So that was kind of nice that they acknowledged that. Yeah.
It's not bloody Colm.
I really want to answer this question because as a woman in this game, I can tell you that the longer that we worked on this, some of the actresses like
They'll
Joe
be back until they
Armanox, who
free
plays
Montez,
Karen,
and
like
we and every decent
Sam
person in this
Strelitz, who
town
plays
is
Mary
dead.
Beth, Mia, who plays
You know
Tilly,
what, Bob?
myself, the camp girls.
Montez. I'm a man of many contradictions. I've thought long and hard about a speech about ethics, about responsibility, about rule of law. Then I decided I'd just do this and hang the consequences.
You killed him.
No shit. So that's one less problem we gotta worry about. Now, what was the real problem in this town?
His boys will be back to kill us all.
Well, then we better get prepared. These are the folks who's willing and able to help, with whatever weapons they can muster. Go up.
Show me where to go. I ain't killed a man yet, but I can hit most anything with this long gun. Yeah? Okay. Wish me luck.
On. afraid this isn't over yet. There. Here, Lord. We gotta stop that thing! There's dynamite in the gunsmith! We might be in need of it now! They can only shoot one of us at a time. So one of you call its fire, and the rest of us will move up. Call fire so they can get that dynamite. He's got you in his sight. Get down. We're getting covered. Stay low. Now flank him. Let's kill these. Come! You and your friends saved my town. And Montez died in the conflict.
Exactly. He, died in the conflict. Thank you. Thanks to all of you.
In towns, it's the sheriffs that run things. We help out where we can. Thank you. You've been a great help in all this business. It's been my pleasure. I hope to see you again. Not too soon, I hope.
Well, thanks again.
We initially didn't have as much to do in the gang. We didn't have as much agency, and we noticed that as we were going along, that our sort of position in the gang changed. We became invaluable in missions. We became, our characters really deepened. And I cannot tell you for sure, no one from Rockstar ever came and said, we really like you women and we're going to give you more to do, but we felt that the longer we worked together, the deeper our character development got. We got more backstory, we got more connections, and we felt really seen. We felt really, really seen. And so I'm glad you asked, because I love the opportunity to say that.
I just was going to add something real quick, too. One thing that you may or may not know, I don't know, but when we get our scripts, we don't get them we don't get the script in its entirety. We get it in just little sections, and then those sections are given to us out of order. So, it's hard to pretend like you know something that would be correct to ad-lib if you don't really understand exactly what's going on. I mean, by the time we really shot the thing, yes, we were fully informed and knew where we would be on the map and a lot of different details. But it's, I think if we had the entire script, we might be able to suggest, like, can we try this? You know, whatever. And if we did, I bet you they would say, yeah, try it. You may not keep it, but sure. But yeah, that's another part of it. Because you don't have the whole story, how are you going to change it and make it better? You know what I mean?
Howdy. So my name's Andrew. I'm actually playing through Red Dead Redemption 2 for the first time, like, right now. I'm going to play it after this con as well. One of the things that really sets Red Dead apart, and GTA as well for that matter, is its open world, its aspect that the characters are alive, but also the aspect that outside of the main missions, there's a lot of side content you can do, from fishing to rattling cows to the horse mini game in Red Dead 1 where you got to tame the horse in order to be on it. That took me forever to master. But my question for you guys is, if you guys have a favorite mini game in Red Dead or Red Dead 2, and if so, if you have played the games, like what would it be, or what have you spent maybe the most hours trying to do or accomplish if you played the game?
I remember the first Red Dead Redemption. You could cheat. You could cheat at cards if you wore the special outfit. And I would get caught cheating on purpose so that I could practice. Because then, if you got caught, they'd take you outside and you'd have a duel. And I would practice my duels that way. So that was really cool. I enjoyed that. But for the first, for Red Dead 2, I think one of my favorite pastimes, you know, just when I'm just messing around. I haven't picked it up since COVID, but what I used to really love doing was just go around hunting and fishing. I love doing that. That was really awesome.
I love just being in the open world, and the first time I ever played it, after I rescued Sean, I decided to go off doing a bit of hunting and a bit of fishing and messing around. And I got back to camp the next day at about maybe 6 o'clock in the evening, and everybody was asleep. And I was going crazy because I missed the party. Like, it took me 6 months working on the party scenes, which I absolutely loved, learning all these songs like the Ring Dang Do and stuff like that. So I had to start the game all over again just to go back and be involved in my own fucking party. So yeah, there you go.
I remember when the game came out reading that the Audubon Society said that Rockstar had gotten the birds from 1899 in that part of the American West completely correct. And so I'm not good at like shooting, or so I don't get through a lot of missions. So I really like wandering around and checking out the birds because I know that it's like a little bit of captured history.
I'm so bad at the game. I've played parts of each of the game and I've enjoyed it, but also haven't enjoyed it because I find myself like looking up here when people are shooting at me and I can't. I might be aiming at them, but then when I figure out this one and I look back down, then I'm dead, and I think this YouTube is so much better.
I was also going to say my friend has been teaching me through Red Dead how to play poker, so hopefully it's going to help me tonight when I go to the casino after the con.
Following you.
Yeah.
But you're unlikely to get into a duel.
My question was, who do you, other than like the characters you play, obviously, who was your personal favorite character, and who do you think like your character's favorite person was in the game?
Mine may or may not. I really liked, and I know that everybody's going to say the same thing, but maybe I'm wrong. But I think people really enjoyed Charles Smith, and I think people really enjoyed Sadie Adler, and I think John may have really enjoyed those two the most too, because they stuck together to the end. But also, I'd say John probably would really appreciate Arthur more than anyone by far. He changed his life, and I think that yeah, I guess that's my answer. I don't know.
It's a tough one because we all love everybody involved in the game, of course. But I think for Sean, definitely he looks up to Arthur as like his big brother, his father figure almost that he kind of needs. On a personal level, I think Sean really connects with Lenny. You know, Sean really loved Lenny, got on well with him. They were kind of like pals, and of course, I mean, Karen Jones is very special to poor old Sean. You know, that little love story I think was a really lovely touch. Especially in gaming today, you know, it was quite a lovely, tender kind of a thing to do. So there you go. And Miss Grimshaw and John Marston.
Thank you. I don't know, I'm kind of partial to Pearson. I think maybe because I'm not great at missions, I love being around camp, and if you get him talking. And that guy, that actor, Jim Santangeli, is hilarious and brilliant, and I think that really comes through if you pay attention to Pearson. But get him some herbs for that stew.
I like Charles Smith too. Yeah, Charles Smith is so loyal. He's such a good friend. You know, and yeah, I really enjoy him. I think Arthur obviously did too. But you know, Arthur had a deep love for John as well, and Hosea, I think, and obviously Dutch too. You know, Arthur was loyal to the gang to a fault. You know, and it didn't do him any favors in the end, but he was very loyal.
Hello there. So I was just wondering, this is for Red Dead Redemption 2. So everyone knew that Red Dead Redemption 1 was successful, you know, but was there ever a moment that you guys thought that maybe Red Dead Redemption 2 wasn't going to be like well received as much as the first one, and that people were going to hate your characters? And were you also hoping that like your family and friends would also enjoy Red Dead Redemption 2?
Oh yeah, I knew how successful the first Red Dead was and how much I loved it. So yeah, to say the pressure was on would be an understatement. I was hoping that we would do as well. You know, I was just hoping that we could be as good as its original. You know, and I think we achieved that. So I'm grateful for that. But yeah, like spoilers. But you know, at the end of Red Dead Redemption, when you start playing as Jack, we all miss John, don't we? And I remember when the second trailer for Red Dead 2 came out, and it kind of introduces us to Arthur. Of course, there were people like, "What? No, Arthur who? I want to play as John, man." And I totally understood that, and I saw that coming, you know. Well, you know, I knew from early on. I said, you can't out John Marston. So I'm gonna have to do my own thing. But that's what I did, and yeah, I was just very grateful to all of you guys for enjoying it so much. And here we are, over 6 years later. Isn't that crazy?
Just to add to that there about the family element, I didn't have any great idea about how big this game was going to be. I didn't have a clue what I was getting into when I got the part. You know, it was something that you kind of learn. I learned anyway as I went along. I was at home in Dublin when Red Dead actually was released. So that's when it really hit me. I saw the billboards in Times Square, and I saw photographs from people around the world celebrating with Arthur Morgan's beautiful face on the subway cars and everything. But my grandmother actually passed away the week before the game was released, which really sucked. So I had to go home for the funeral and all the rest of it. And I remember one day walking by Trinity College, which is in the city centre of Dublin. I seen a double-decker bus with Outlaws for Life and Arthur Morgan's face on it. And that was kind of surreal for me, just to be home in Ireland. That's when it hit me. It was like, yeah, this is kind of the real deal. This is great to be a part of. So yeah, that's when it really kind of hit home for me, literally and figuratively. So there.
Yeah, I never had a doubt. When I walked in the first day, I think that it was Roger and Ben Davis were shooting a scene. I can't remember who it was, but I watched the way that our studio was set up. There was they call it the volume, which is like the stage that you perform on, and there was a glass wall that you could clear. I mean, obviously you could just watch. You could be in the green room. If you were quiet enough, they couldn't hear you and you wouldn't disrupt anything, but you could watch everything that was going on. And I remember the first day that I left, I called my wife and I was like, This is gonna be really good. I mean, I was blown away. I promise you, it looked like I swear it was Ben. Whoever it was either Ben or possibly was Steve Palmer. But the other person I knew and had seen work before because of Red Dead Redemption. But when I saw Roger, I swear he looked like he had done it for 20 years. And he was happy to be doing it again, and I was happy to be watching. It was amazing. So I never had a doubt.
Anything to add, Kelly?
Well, I had no idea what I was doing because I didn't play video games, and so I remember people sort of. On my first day at work, I was just told to bring comfortable undergarments. I didn't even know I was doing motion capture or wearing like this weird scuba suit. And I remember sort of hearing people doing accents. I said, is this a Western? I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. And I remember at a certain point, I think it was Roger said, I think this is going to be really big. I think this is going to be really big. And I started understanding that I was a part of something that would mean so much to so many people. But also you asked, was I worried people would hate my character? The director actually said that to me at one point. I was doing a scene and he was staring at me and he had this weird look on his face. Like, and I was like, what? I know I'm doing what you said to do. I take direction really well. I know that I'm doing what you're saying to do. He goes, yeah, no, you're doing what I said. I'm just really afraid they're all gonna hate you. I was like, oh, I think it's a little late for that. So all credit to Rockstar for letting me be a middle-aged, bossy, pain in the ass character in a video game and trusting that you guys would sort of fall in love with her anyway. It's a big deal.
Hi, so I never played any of the games. I have a couple of friends that do play, and I actually. Sorry. So I want to know. So this kind of goes in hand in hand with like one of the questions I was asked, like, would your character be friends with you or something like that? How do you think your characters would feel about like the fans that they have, like with your character? Like, how do you think they would feel about the fans that they have?
They'd rob every one of you, first of all, in a second. And me too.
This gentleman said some would be willing to give you the money, so, you know. Okay, we have time for one last question. No pressure. This gentleman's hand was up first, so you get to go.
What was your favorite moment in the game and why?
What was that? Your favorite moment or scene in the game?
Oh, wow. So many. So many. I particularly liked, the first time I played it, I liked the epilogue. Because that was the first part of the game where I didn't know what was going to happen next. And I remember Rob would be working on it, and he'd be like, oh, we did this cool thing in the epilogue today. And I'd be like, I don't want to know, don't tell me. So playing the epilogue for the first time was a lot of fun. But there's the iconic moments for me. Is that walk up to Braithwaite Manor, trying to get Jack back. That was pretty awesome. I loved the last mission, American Venom, when you finally get that rat. There's a lot of iconic missions in them that I really, really enjoyed. It was a real pleasure to work on them. And, oh yeah, we're coming to an end now. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. I just want to let you know, if you didn't get the chance to ask a question, we're going to be at our tables right after this. You're more than welcome to come and stop by.
Would anyone else like to share a favorite moment or scene?
I love the tobacco burning the tobacco fields. I just had a great fun doing that with Roger. And that was something that it was one of my first things that I actually shot. So it was like a baptism of fire, literally, to kind of learn about what we were doing. And yeah, I love that.
I just remembered when someone asked if anything cracked me up. I can't believe I forgot this. But the first time I had to work with Peter, who plays Micah, the first scenes I had with him, I had read the scenes, but I didn't know how they would sound coming out of his mouth. And so when he would say things like, I bet you were a tiger, back in the day. And I could not keep a straight face. This man was insulting me in the weirdest way ever, and I could not do my job. And I loved working with Peter. He kept me on my toes.
Yeah, I think, and I know this isn't fair to say because I know that none of you have seen what it is I'm trying to explain, but when you go to work and everybody that you work for and you work with is really motivated to do a good job, and they're happy to be there, and you've got just incredible talent all around you, it's really hard to pick a favorite. It's hard to pick a favorite line, a favorite scene, a favorite moment, whatever, because every bit of it was so enjoyable. And it's difficult to, when people, and I know, I appreciate it, and I thank you, and I know that we all enjoy talking about it, but to pick anything that's favorite, this was a very special thing for all of us every day that we were there, I think. And it continues on again because of all of you, so thank you.
Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you, Michael, Kylie, Rob, Roger. Visit them at their tables. Keep it going.
Howdy, y'all. This is Roger Clark from Red Dead Redemption 2. You're watching Fandom Spotlight like all good cowboys. Remember to have fun and follow your fandom. Yeehaw!
Then we'll get into the real nitty-gritty of the questions. Hi, who are you and why are people excited to see you?
Hi. You're making it too easy. Thank you, everyone. That's so many of you here. For those of you who don't know, I'm Roger Clark. You might know me as Arthur Morgan.
My name's Benjamin Byron Davis, and I play Dutch Bandit.
I'm Alex McKenna, and I play
I'm Nick Melanphy, and I play Shaw McGuire.
I'm Peter Blomquist, and I play Micah Bell.
Oh, hey. Gabriel Sloyer, I play Javier Escuela. I'm Kirsten Cornell, I play Hosea Matthews. I'm Robert Logue, and I play Red.
I'm Leah Davis, and I play Tilly Jackson. With all admiration and respect, this is the strongest reaction to very specific characters I've seen. That's all. This is going to be a ton of fun. Let's start with a really, really easy question. Red Dead Redemption and the world is set during a historic period where you can just go on Google and say, what did somebody from the forthcomings sound like? So I would love to know if you could all tell us how you found your character's voice. I'll start. So first of all, they're very tight Rockstar with their information. So when I showed up to work, I had no idea that I was even being Western. But there were some people there. Rob was there, Roger was there, and I noticed they had some accents going on, and I was like, so was this Southern? They were like, just kind of follow what they're doing. So that's how I sort of came up with the fact that she had a little accent. But then with Susan, as soon as I realized that she needed to keep people in line to keep everyone safe, we dropped into a little of that hard love, where maybe she makes a few corrections with her hands. And that's how I found her voice.
I've been working on my accent kind of my entire life. No, just like Kylie, we had no idea what we were auditioning for. So there were, I guess, I just went in there. If I memorized everything, I thought I'm doing this the best I can. Let's see if I can spit all this out.
Untitled video game project. That's what they're all called, by the way. I was doing theater at the time, and one of the fellas in my dressing room, his grandfather was from Flagstaff, Arizona, and he used to do impressions of his grandfather that I thought was hilarious. And that was kind of
Hello, stranger.
You don't got the eye, just an eye for a deal.
I told you, go away, old man.
Nothing but false prophecies and fake jewelry.
Go away, or I see much pain and suffering in your future.
A crook and a charlatan. Sure you know what you're getting into with this one.
Hey, please, don't listen to him. I am Madame Nassar, channeler of spirits, finder of lost things, and since everyone seems to be a fortune teller now, seller of the strange and exotic. Which one of these can I help you with today? Wait, don't speak. Let me see. Yes. You're searching for something. What though? A dead lover whose spirit you wish to contact on the other side? No, it's not that. It's not something you've lost, but something you're missing. Yes. Purpose. Some meaning in the chaos of this life. Well, you see, that is something I can help you with. Come to work for me. I say I find things, but really, it is others who do the finding. I tell them what I'm looking for, and they collect it for me from far and wide. Sometimes with ease, and sometimes through great hardship. It is work that can be as honest or dishonest as you want it to be. How about it? Do you want to be one of my collectors? I make sure they are rewarded quite handsomely. A small fee is really the least I should ask for giving you what you're looking for and setting you up with everything you need to get started. There are more tools you may want from me in due course, but first, you will need to prove yourself. If you don't want to start now, you can find me again, and the offer will still be there. Ah, if money is the problem, then that is the first thing you should go looking for. When you found some, return to me, and I will set you on your way.
Start of it, and I threw it. I guess a bit of the South creeped in, but he was Flagstaff, Arizona was like the origin of this feller. Yeah, the rest, as they say, is history.
I guess I was told that Sean was Irish, and of course I'm from County Cork in Ireland, where we sound really, really nice and sweet, just like Cillian Murphy and people like that. And I was told that Sean was a bit of a smart arse, and he was a bit full of himself. So immediately I went to all my uncles who live in Dublin, and they all kind of started sounding a bit more like that, like hard men kind of walking around, and that's where I came from. That was it.
Doesn't he say he's from Donegal at one point, Mick?
Yeah. A year and a half in, I had a scene where I was talking to people from Donegal, and I brought it up to the director, and his attitude was,
Ain't nothing special, but
most of the people playing this don't even know where Ireland is, so don't worry about it.
I think I had the same experience where we came in and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm from Detroit originally, and they said we sound southern a little bit. So I was like, okay, well, I think Tilly's got a little bit of southern swing, but I listened to everyone that was doing the scenes already, so that's why I got it. My audition was do a southern accent, and I, being the studious actor that I am, was like, from where though? What part of the South? And I got just southern, and I was like, copy, okay. And so I did it, got called back, and then showed up to set, had no idea who I was working for, what we were doing. Saw the Rockstar logo, my jaw was on the floor. I was like, this is so exciting. Oh my God. And then I couldn't talk about it for 5.5 years. But I saw Western cowboy boots. And so that kind of was like, okay, so they were really General Western. You got it. And that's how we did it.
That's a great story.
So how did you find your voice, Peter?
That's a great question. Originally,
anything particular?
Originally, Micah's voice. I came in and I was like,
anything you like.
We kind of had a little sort of sound like this, and the director was like, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Go talk to Ben."
And so I spent a little bit of time with Ben, and Ben kind of
Find that
eventually
in a
helped
lot
me
of
come up
bedrooms
with
in
the
these
Micah
parks.
voice that you guys all know. So Ben is really the one that helped me find that voice. Yeah.
How did I do that?
A repeater won't be
I don't really remember. It was a long time ago, but yeah, we spent a lot of time together, Ben and I, working on Micah's voice. A lot of time together. So, and I don't think I've ever thanked you for that. But thank you.
Say more.
You're
Say more
welcome.
about that. Gabrielle.
I don't know. I really have no idea. I just went with it. But to your point, a lot of it was just being thrown together by things you do, and then Rod would change things, the director would change things, and
good repeating
just lucky to
rifle
be
right
there. I don't really know how I found a voice or not found a voice, but it all worked out. I'm not fired yet.
There's time.
That repeater shoots real tight. Lancaster make
Don't
a
say
hell
that.
of a
That'll be the
gun.
headline that everybody tweets when they leave this room. We're having a lot of fun. It's being very silly on stage, but a Western is a really extreme and frightening environment. That era in American history was rough, as the dogs say. Who in the cast is most likely to actually survive in that type of scenario?
That's fair. You give him a little power and what happens? Just look at Sheriff
You know what,
Freeland.
I bet Curzon would hold his own. I'm not kidding. Curzon still plays hockey. And he broke his leg at one point and didn't know it. And so he
Keep
walked
looking,
around
not a
for a
problem.
couple weeks or a month or whatever, and then finally got an x-ray, right? Am I telling this right?
You're telling it right. I love it. Keep it up.
No, he's easily the toughest one, and I think he's smart, and I think he would be a good, he'd be a real good outlaw.
It's a lot to live up to, but I'll try.
As a Canadian, I have to ask, what position do you play when you play hockey?
I play defense now because I'm so slow. You know, you get old, you slow down. That's what happens.
I 100% believe that Alex and Kermit would hold their own, but Gabrielle Slayer is an actual outlaw. He's an actual outlaw, and I said this recently, like he and I are really good friends, and I never know where he is. And I mean, where in the world? And every now and then I'll say, wow, that phone line sounds really weird. Where are you? Don't worry about it. I don't know what he's doing. It's prison. It might be prison. Who knows? Nobody knows. That's how he likes it.
Mysterious man.
Gabrielle, you've done a lot of time, actual time. I think. I don't know what for, but yeah.
What's good is that I'm not fired.
All right, friends in the audience, I want to invite you to very friendly and very politely and very kindly and very mindfully, if you have a question you would like to ask the cast, there's a nice microphone right there. Go line up behind it. If you see anybody who needs some help, please help them out. You can throw elbows.
Line up behind Mike.
Very nicely. I'm so glad nobody ran, because about half the time somebody just runs. Hi, what is your name? Where are you from? And what is your question?
I'm Victor E. Kazanko. I'm from New Jersey. It's a pleasure to meet you all. You're all great. I got a bit of two questions. Bit two-parter for Rob. What was it like of your character after it being so long since you voiced him, and were you excited to come back to the role? Yeah, you. Yeah.
Yeah, what was it? I'm so sorry. What was it like? What now?
What was it like exploring this aspect of your character only mentioned in the first game? Then were you excited to come back to the role?
Yeah, definitely excited to come back to the role, without a doubt. But then, yeah, there were a lot of differences between John in Red Dead Redemption and then John in Red Dead Redemption 2. And it was great. I mean, I enjoyed every second of it. But man, John he was just a punk, wasn't he? He was really a punk, and I thought, oh, that sucks. Whatever. Yeah, that's part of the story, I guess. There's got to be an arc, and I guess the game is called Red Dead Redemption, right? So you got to come from somewhere. And no, I really enjoyed it. Thank
one more question for sorry about this one sec.
We do have a nice long line of people,
right.
so let's be respectful.
For Rondra, what was it like to be this character that has limited time left on Earth and want to do the right thing one last time before he passed? Like, try to make a difference before he died of tuberculosis in the game.
He what?
Spoiler.
What? Oh, that's what all that coughing was about. Yeah, I remember. When I first saw that, I was Googling, when did they find the cure for TB? You know, no, it wasn't 1899. I'm so sorry. I didn't hear your second question very well. Is something about the last ride?
Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. Just what was it like to...
They're gonna hang young Tom Davies. Your friend, the marshal. Hang him for being your friend and doing good in a bad world. Montez's boys gonna teach goodness a lesson. Teach law a lesson. Tell order it don't exist no more in this chaos of a world. They got him in tumbleweed, and they're gonna lynch him. Or they're gonna lure you in there and lynch all you. Guess you'll have to figure that out. Yeah. Come on, let's go. All right, it's tumbleweed. I said that. Marshal Davies crossed the line when he killed Alfredo there. Killed him without due process. No judge, jury, just an executioner. He crossed the line, and now Alfredo's men, they're crossing it too. When good folks break the rules, well, they should know that bad folks are just gonna break them worse. Now the executioner is himself condemned. I only hope this bunch waits a while longer than Davies did to carry out the deed. But he might already be done for when we arrive. Sure, we'll save him if we can. But if we can't, well, either we'll join him or we will see it right. Sounds like we're here in time, at least. Come on! Here we are! Get ready for a fight, folks!
Listen here. These two men are killers. The worst kind of killers. The kind that hide behind the law. So today, Marshal Davies and Sheriff Freeman are going to get what's coming. Do it.
If I could do it, I'd kill him again.
Do it.
Tom!
Shoot the room! Ah!
wasn't sure about you, Mr. Jones. But then you went and saved my neck.
Well, I ain't gonna make a habit of it.
All of you, thank you. I mean it, thank you.
Yes, thank you. I don't like requiring help, but this time I did. Marshal Davies, all of you, thank you.
Ain't that fine? I was thinking we should leave before Montez's ghost decides to pay us any further visits.
So you are a good fella, Mr. Jones.
Me? No, never. I just like watching what other folks is, that's all.
There's a word for fellas like you.
Wise? Is that the word? Come, Marshal. Help me get home. Been quite enough excitement for a clapped-out old fool well past his best for one day.
Friends, I'll see you again, I hope. But next time, under better circumstances, I trust.
For his character that
slow down, Jersey.
Was it like exploring his character that just wanted to do the right thing before he like passed away?
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously the beauty of the game is it gives you so much freedom as to how to play it, you know. And most people play, I think, high honor, right? I always go for high honor because I don't like the bounty hunters are annoying when you're low honor. But yeah, I think when Arthur, spoilers, but when he does get that diagnosis, I think it does change his perspective on life, absolutely. And it's from that point where it gives him a different viewpoint and he tries to change and help and do what little he can with the time that he has left. And Sister Calderon helps him make that decision. And yeah, I mean, it was so beautifully written. And I'm not saying that because the owner was one of the writers. It genuinely was beautifully written. So it was just a joy to work on with a great script.
Thank you very much.
Hi, what is your name? Where are you from? And what is your question?
Ben from North Carolina, and question about coming back to the characters is my idea, so I'm regretting getting him first place in mind, but improving another one off the top of my head, since Red Dead 2 has one of my favorite ensembles in any game, if you could take the cast from Red Dead 2 and put them in any other game known for its ensemble, like Mass Effect, Final Fantasy 7, Baldur's Gate 3, what game would you like to see the Red Dead 2 crew try to work their way through?
Mario Kart.
Red Dead 3. Yes.
I would actually love to see this crew try to handle like an alien scenario. I think that would be dope. Micah would absolutely be the thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. What is your name? Where are you from? And what is your question?
I am also Ben, Charleston, South Carolina. Rockstar does not sugarcoat anything. They take on racism, they take on ageism, and they definitely did with this game. My question is, what is the most favorite mod you've seen so far in this game? Open to the whole panel.
Oh yeah. And
So,
good
what
work
is
on
the
that
most
last one.
favorite modification for PC so far?
You don't know what he's talking about, do you? In Ireland, we don't do computer games, so I'm only joking.
How are you
I know
hunting,
what you're talking
huh?
about.
There's a cougar, see? Been killing sheep
There's
around
one where
Cold
Jack
Springs
is
for
as big as
months.
a house. That's
Last night
hilarious.
I got Mrs. Golden's miniature horse, and she is on the
Thank
board.
you.
So much.
You kill that
Hi,
cat
what is
and
your
bring in
name?
some
Where are you
proof of
from?
it,
And what is your
I'll make sure you
question?
get the
Hi,
reward
my
money.
name is Derek.
Look
I'm
out,
from
though.
Manhattan.
It is
and
a
my question
mean
is
one.
for the
Good luck to
for
you.
more of the ensemble cast, the campgoers, and but the game has so much content
obviously you guys have been working on it for like a half a decade and stuff like that. Is there anything for your characters that didn't make it into the game that you would have liked to have had, or would you like to spend more time with them?
Yeah, Sean didn't get hit by a bullet in the head. Oh shit, spoiler, my bad. Fuck.
I wanted to see Tilly's baby. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Hi, what is your name? Where are you from? And what is your question?
My name is Morgan, and I'm from Maryland. I was a ghost to Nashir. I wanted to ask, what was it like voicing Charles? He has such a range of emotions, and the way he shows it, it's super subdued into like that, and then like fully out, showing it when it's like the most intense moments. I wanted to ask, what was it like having to get into that character? What mindset you had to be in? How you did it?
That's actually a question I was meaning to ask you. I hadn't gotten around to it. Thanks, Peter. Thanks. Well, I think one of the things I really like about Charles is I think he's made a lot of mistakes, and his wisdom comes from having done terrible things in his past that we don't get to see, and he's trying to do better. And so I think you get to see a lot of Charles's restraint, but he has a limit, and when he hits that limit, it's over. And I think finding that line for him was fun, especially because I think so much of what happens in this new family that he has tests that patience like over and over and over. And a couple times I think he takes it out on people that maybe aren't fully deserving of it, but it's the safer way for him to let it out, you know?
Thank you. Hi, what is your name? Where are you from? What is your question?
Hi, my name is Hannah. I'm coming from Richmond, Virginia, and I have a question for all of these lovely cast members. Obviously, one of the awesome and one of my favorite parts about specifically Red Dead 2 is the inclusion of horses and the huge variety of life that we see in the world, making it really come alive. So my question is, do you have a favorite animal or creature, whether that be a horse or maybe another thing that you run into in the game, that is your favorite just to look at because of how cool or even just how realistic it looks?
This actually isn't answering your question, but because it's not what it looks like in the game. But I got a whole day, like they saw how much I love dogs, so I got a whole day to come in and work with dogs. I wasn't even playing Susan. I just got to like do stuff with dogs, pet the dogs, sit with the dogs, and it was like maybe my favorite day as just anonymous person on set with dogs. So imagine every time you choose to pet the dog, that was your performance. It was so real to me. Such sweet dogs.
I think I've cried every time a horse dies. Every time. I mean, we have tear ducts for a reason. You know, we're supposed to cry. They're just so beautiful. And they've done, I mean, truly, the humans who do witchcraft with zeros and ones to create this world that feels so real is mind-boggling to me. So yeah, I mean, I also think
I'm surprised none of the legendary animals have come up yet. Because they're so cool.
I was very happy with the alligators. Yeah, I like the squirrels.
Thank you so much. Hi, what is your name? Where are you from? And what is your question?
My name is Matthew Ireland, and I'm from Manhattan. My question is, for all the cast, would you rather have unlimited bacon but no games, or limited games but no games?
Right?
Did you say bacon?
Yeah.
You said bacon, right?
Bacon. Bacon?
Bacon and eggs? You're saying eggs?
What kind of bacon?
Making cakes? Like bacon?
Yes, bacon. Only bacon.
Baking or bacon?
Bacon.
Bacon. Bacon. Like from a pig.
game, but no game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
You didn't know you were going to have the most controversial and difficult to answer question of the entire panel, and I congratulate you for achieving that.
Great question.
Thank you so much. Hi, what is your name? Where are you from? And what is your question?
Hi, I'm Francis. I'm from DC. Thank you. So I was wondering what your favorite. This is for the whole cast, but this is especially directed to Roger and Ben. What have your favorite impressions of your characters been since the game came out? And before you answer, we are not criminals. We are outlaws.
Well, I respect your moxie. But I really haven't heard a good one yet. That was pretty close.
I think I joined some.
I've heard some really good ones. They're all over TikTok and whatnot. You know, I really admire it. I mean, it's one of the biggest compliments you can get, isn't it? I guess, right? And I'm just so grateful they found me before they found some of you. Although some of the better ones I've heard probably would have been 12 or 13 when we started working on it. So maybe, but some of you guys, man, some of you pretty damn good. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Hi, what is your name? Where are you from? What is your question?
Hi, I'm Reed. I'm from Manhattan, and my question is, will we be getting Red Dead 3 before GTA 6?
You're asking the wrong people.
And
boy, we don't know.
And will Roger be back?
We don't know.
Red Dead 3's already out. Have you not downloaded it yet? It was out yesterday after lunchtime.
You're gonna get unlimited games, but no games.
Thank you so much. Hi, what is your name? Question.
I'm Liam. I'm from Northport, New York. And first off, I wanted to thank you guys for making probably one of the greatest games of the last 20 years. You guys have distracted me from my schoolwork, made me laugh, made me cry, and thank you so much for it. I'm definitely gonna replay it again. So many of you guys have a lot of memorable voice lines that fans have quoted throughout the years, and my friends and I spent a week in the mountains to the point where speaking in a southern accent felt natural. We could only speak in your voice lines. So I guess to all of you, which are your favorite voice lines that you guys have done?
Or favorite performances, because it's fully integrated performance.
Or favorite quotes, right? I guess for me it would be, Dutch, get over here and dance with me. I don't know if you remember that moment in the game. But yeah, dance.
You know, I've actually seen some people think that's legit. Now they think that's an actual legitimate scene.
What do you mean they think it's
edited out in the game? Peter first started this stuff in Kuwait. He gave some interview where he's doing a slow dance with Dutch and the snow is gently.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
And people now think that was genuinely cut from the game. Which it was, of course.
I've heard that you still can find it though.
The gramophone was playing, right, Ben? Remember?
Yeah.
How could I forget?
No, we spent all day that day dancing. You know, because they had to get it just right. Anyway, someone else can finish answering the question.
I did get to dance with Kylie Vernoff for a day, and that was magnificent. I do have this voice lines. I've heard this before. I call it dialogue, right? It's just dialogue. Just persnickety, which is my preferred mode.
So what's your favorite line?
Piece of dialogue.
I'll tell you, this is America. You can always cut a deal. I was so certain. On the day that we recorded that, like a jackass, I said, that's going to be in the trailer. It was not.
Thank you so much. Hi, what is your name? Where are you from? And what is your question?
Hi, I'm Jill.
First of all, favorite game of all time, so this is surreal seeing all of you here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Jill.
So, I thought this would be a pretty fun question for you guys. This is for the whole ensemble. If your characters existed in modern day, what kind of careers do you think they would have?
Brain surgeon.
What's weird is I was gonna say forensic psychologist. Yeah. Also, maybe like a Dexter at night situation.
Probably a professional dog walker or a sex worker.
No, just kidding. That's the highlight. That's the headline that's coming out of this panel. Yeah, dominatrix. Yes, it is. Do you want to find out? Thank you so much.
That was a
Great question.
Hi, what is your name? Where are you from? And what is your question?
My name's Hyro. I'm from Jersey. This is Jersey represent. So thank you guys for performing in the game. It was probably one of the most, well, for Rob particularly, the first game for me broke me as a little middle school kid. I never thought I'd cry in video games ever until the last scene, and I was just like, whoa. But anyway, going on for, my question is that for Rob and Roger, you know when you do the greet, antagonize stuff, I die of laughter every time I just go around wanting to just terrorizing people's regular lives. Where's your best voice lines or just conversations for the greet, antagonize?
I like, you smell like your shit took a shit. And sometimes, I'll be taking selfies with you guys at the table and I'll whisper that into their ear. And it gets a big smile, except this one time the kid didn't know us from the game and and he thought he smelled, and he's like, why would you say that? I'm like, oh no, guy, it's from the game, you smell fine. But then, that didn't make a good selfie that time. The poor kid, I felt awful, yeah. Now you just made me feel awful again. But it is pretty funny.
Honestly, I don't remember a lot of them. When we would do that, we did do those in a sound booth. So there would be a list, and you would just ramble them off. And I remember doing it, and I remember looking through the glass. There was glass to my right, and I could see the director and the sound people in there dying laughing. So I know they really enjoyed it, and I hope you did too, but I can't remember off the top of my head any of it.
It's hilarious, regardless. It's so funny. Again, I die of laughter every time. When I'm terrorizing and just listening to those voice lines, I'm just like, how do you guys do it? So,
A piece of dialogue?
a piece of dialogue. Definitely a piece of dialogue.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, what is your name? Where are you from? And what is your question?
I'm Henry. I'm from Queens. So not only did you guys do voice lines or lines of dialogue, you also did motion capture. And what would you say is your favorite motion capture scene to do from the production?
Ooh, when Grimshaw throws Tilly after she says, "This don't feel right, Miss Grimshaw." And she says, "Get back to work, don't nobody care about you." It was so cool because we had to work that out kind of like a stage combat situation. It was really, really cool. I liked it. I like being thrown to the floor.
Wow. I had a similar throwing moment. It was I think it was actually the first thing I shot on the stage. Like, I didn't know what was happening, and so you guys know the scene where Micah antagonizes Charles and throws him and he's like, eat that! Right? So originally that was Steve, who plays Bill. And so I didn't know him, no one there knew me, and they were like, so he's gonna say some heinous racist shit to you, and you're gonna launch him across the room. And I was like, okay. Like, we've got these huge HMC antlers sticking on everything. I was like, so are we taking these off, or what are we doing? They're like, no, we need the face. I was like, okay. So Steve, you wanna turn your head to the right, I'll turn my head to the right, and that way our antlers don't lock, And Tempest came in and he was like, no, we want to keep it as real as possible, so just do whatever. And I was like, I'm gonna wreck some shit. And he was like, it's fine. I'm gonna wreck them. And they're like, it's fine. I told Rod, I was like, I'm gonna break some shit. He's like, it's fine. I was like, okay. Action. Boom! I threw Steve almost past the mat. Both of our half cameras came together and like our helmets exploded. And so like when I walk up to him, I'm like, eat that! My HMC camera is just like, and like there's a real long pause and then they're like T-pose and I'm like, I'm fucking fired. I warned him though, man. I tell him.
Anyone top that story? Thank you so much. Hi, what is your name? Where are you from? And what is your question?
Clark Kent from the Daily Planet.
I know that.
Real talk. My name is Romeo Alter. I'm from Brooklyn. I have two questions, one for Ben and one for Roger. First, for Ben, I have to ask, and I feel like everyone here is wondering, what was the plan? What was the plan, Dutch? How are we getting to Tahiti?
I gotta tell you, because people are wondering, you guys are obtuse. The plan is clear. Stop doubting. Make a lot of noise. Make a lot of money. And get the hell out of here.
Okay, and my question for Roger, this is gonna be a bit more serious. When you were acting out the I'm afraid scene, I kind of wanted to know like how it felt to do that, like the connection to the character and how you like managed to get out such like an amazing performance. Like everyone here like cried to that and stuff like that. So I just sort of want to know how you did it.
Well, I had an awesome scene partner, as you may remember, whose name escapes me. I feel terrible right now, but she was absolutely wonderful. She's also in Undead Nightmare, because we see Sister Calderon in that as well. And yeah, I remember her very well. She's a Los Angeles-based actor, and I worked with her the whole day. We knocked out all of those Sister Calderon scenes in the one day, and it was an absolute joy to work with her. And you know, that's one of the things I love about performance capture, because so often when you're voice acting, you're doing it by yourself in a booth, you know? But I had this amazing scene partner to bounce off of, and I think that helps the immersion of the game, is the fact that we as performers get to really dance with each other, you know? And we get off our book, and we learn our lines, and we're performing and playing with each other, and Rockstar hired such wonderful actors. I think they hire the most actors in all of Northeast, don't they? You know, I think there was about 1,000 cast members on Red Dead 2. And we had the luxury of working with most of them. And thank you. I'm so glad that you liked that scene. I was thrilled when I first read it, because it was the first time I had ever seen a cowboy admit that he was scared of dying, and I just thought that vulnerability was a really cool thing to explore. But yeah, it was all her. Someone know her name? Has anybody Googled it? She's a wonderful actor, and I was really, really lucky to work with her.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's your name? Where are you from? And what is your question?
Hi, my name's Emily. I'm also from Brooklyn, and I just want to say thank you, because I was never really much of like a gamer, so the fact that I played the entirety of Red Dead 2 from beginning to end is impressive to me. And so my question is kind of related to, when you have a game that just has so much content, what is it like as the cast and recording and acting out so many different side quests and main quests and all of these little Easter eggs that the average player probably has not seen all of them? So what is that experience like?
Fun. I have a 18-year-old daughter, and we had a French exchange student come and stay with us this past spring. And it turns out this French girl was a gamer. And since no one in my house is good at playing games, I've tried, I get shot, I give up. She started playing, and for 2 days, I got to watch my colleagues do these scenes that I had never seen and I was so blown away by all of them. Then I saw scenes that I had done that I had completely forgotten about, and it was so beautiful watching someone. I finally understood why there's such this culture of people watching people game on YouTube. Watching this young woman sit in my living room and play this game and see it in all its glory and find these side missions that I just didn't even know were there, I really got it. I got why it means so much to people and why they'll spend so many hours doing it.
Thank you.
Can I actually say one thing about that though, also? So when we started, we worked in a volume that was a single stage. And about halfway through, we moved to a different stage, massive main stage, and then this still massive side stage. And every day that I was there, I would watch Roger run from big stage in, look at a script, small stage, out, into the big stage, and there was no stopping. It was relentless, and I've never seen work ethic like that. He killed himself to bring those side quests to life, and every single one of them, he delivers 100%. Like he's present with all of us and all of those NPCs every single time.
You really think 100%?
80%? 100%! Shut the hell up. No, it was amazing, and like I'd never seen an actor commit to that workload like that. And hats off to you, Roger. You're amazing.
That's great. Love you, Roger.
Okay, friends, it's time. You can put my name in the show survey at the end of the show. Also, you can just come see us and ask us questions at our table. But before you run away and you say Ashley was so nasty and she wouldn't let us ask our last questions, we're going to take a group selfie so we can all, in a very polite way, come together. Benji's going to come take a selfie of us and you can tag yourselves in it.
We need to clarify something too, just so you guys know. Roger and I are at tables that are out in the hall. The rest of the cast is also at tables where you can go and meet them, but they're in a different room. And so make sure you find that room.
Do we remember what the number is of that?
Yeah, it's room A1, and some people thought that they had to buy some group thing to come see. Most of us who don't. We are there. I know we're there from 2 to 4, and I think again from 6 to 7:30 or so. So come find us.
Yeah, you don't have to buy some package or anything like that. You can just come and spend your money on my autograph.
It was candy.
But we would love to be there and answer the questions that
Come say hi.
All right, so everyone come together very politely and in a friendly way, and let's take a photo.
fucking Hadler.
I'm Kylie Vernoff, and I play Susan Grimshaw. Kylie.
Arthur Morgan. Hey, for those of you who don't know, I'm Roger Clark. You might know me as Arthur Morgan.
My name is Rob Weedoff, and I play John Marston.
My name's Benjamin Byron Davis, and I play Dutch Vanderlyn.
So, guys, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. How have you found the convention so far?
This place is awesome, and it's been gorgeous weather too. I've never been to this part of Scotland before. It's absolutely amazing. It's wonderful to meet and chat with all of you guys. I can't believe that so many of you still appreciate our work. It's just the biggest honor in the whole world, and we know some of you drive and hop on the train long, long time. We really appreciate you. We love you. We love you for your support. Outlaws for life!
Well, with that being said, we'll just jump right into the most important question. What was Dutch's plan?
We all fell for it, though, didn't we? Every one of us. We thought, yeah, he does have a plan. This guy, he knows what's going on. Let's do what he says.
There's Santa Claus, there's the Tooth Fairy, and then there's Dutch's plan.
But no, so in all seriousness, the two of you are obviously iconic and tied to this incredible franchise. But obviously, you were the main character in Red Dead Redemption 1. How did you feel taking on a more supporting role for much of the follow-up?
I didn't mind it at all. I just was so happy that I had an opportunity to work for Rockstar again. I know it's crazy. The game that I was the playable character in, I guess, is 15 years old now or something. So it sounds ridiculous to say spoiler alerts, but it's kind of having a new birth, I guess, in a lot of ways, because it's now on Twitch or Switch. Is that right?
It's on Twitch.
Yeah, it's on there too. I'm sure you can find it. But I don't want to say exactly why, but I really didn't think that there was an opportunity for me to work again. And so, what a pleasant surprise! Of course, I couldn't have been happier. And to be there and see the work that I saw Roger doing in the first day or two, I remember thinking like, oh my God, this is gonna be something special. This is awesome watching it. So.
Thank you so much. I tell you one thing, man, there's not many people in this business where had they been in Rob's shoes would have been the gentleman that Rob was. You know, a lot of people I know, I've worked with them, they would have went, who the hell is this guy, you know? But it wasn't like that at all. I was welcomed with open arms, and you know, your example really made my job a hell of a lot easier.
Well, on that note, did you feel any pressure coming into the role? Because obviously it was a very beloved game, and you're stepping into some big boots as well.
Oh my gosh, I totally did, yeah. Because I was a huge Red Dead Redemption fan. In fact, I had just finished it, like, it just so happened to be about a month or two before my first audition. And I love John Marston, you know? And I knew, I was a little nervous, because I know not to give anything too much away, but at the end of Red Dead Redemption, when you're playing as Jack Marston, you miss John. So I knew that was going to carry over once it was announced that John Marston wasn't the playable character of Red Dead Redemption 2. So I was just like saying to myself, look, just do your job, and hopefully you won't bury the franchise.
Well, I think we can all agree you absolutely did not do that. So what are your kind of main memories of working on the game? Because it's very different from what I think a lot of people would assume, where it's just you go in a booth and record some lines. That certainly wasn't your experience of making it.
No. I mean, voice acting is still a really huge part of games, you know? But had it just been voice acting, we would have gotten it out a lot faster, wouldn't we have, Rob? No, you know, most of it was full performance capture. And of course, no two studios do it the same way, but Rockstar Games is so focused on quality that, I felt really privileged that we were given a lot of ownership over the characters. We did not just the cutscenes for the movement, but we also did all the in-game animations as well, and we did pretty much everything except for the major stunts, which was done by the amazing stunt performers. But if you've all seen behind-the-scenes stuff for Avatar, Planet of the Apes, where they're wearing the spandex with the balls on, and they got the cameras attached to the helmets, that was the majority of our work in Red Dead 2. And that's becoming the majority of the work for all games, AAA titles across the board too. And I love it. I think it's a fascinating way to work.
Did you ever find it frustrating at times? Because I know it can be a very time-consuming process, and you said that you spent like years making this game. Were there ever times you went, God, can I just go and record onto a microphone?
I don't think that. I don't think I ever got to a point where I thought I can't wait until this is over. Anywhere near that. I enjoyed every second of it. I think we all did. But there were things. So you wear a helmet. Part of that performance capture, whatever. What you wear is a helmet that has an arm that comes out and it holds a little camera in front of your face. So that captures all your facial expressions and all this stuff. And if you're doing a fight scene or even kissing, whatever, we look at each other when we say kissing.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
But you would have to kind of work it out because you would sometimes hook your, and it was something that it wasn't frustrating. It just was something where you thought, okay, we got to really think about this and somehow make it look natural, like we're not trying to avoid each other's cameras. But yeah, I mean, there were some things that were a little bit tricky, but never frustrating. I don't think that would ever be the word I would use.
Yeah, I really loved it. It's very similar to, it's like a combination of film and theater. When you're voice acting, more often than not, you're in the booth by yourself. It's a very solitary thing, and that poses its own unique challenges, But when we were performing the performance capture scenes with each other, much like you would on film, we would learn our lines and then we would rehearse the scene with our colleagues until the director was happy to have a go at it. And hang on, is this going to be really loud?
Good afternoon. Nick Frost will be leaving in 30 minutes. If you still want to meet him for a signature or autograph, please make your way to his table now. Thank you.
Sorry, I gotta go.
Will be leaving in 30.
Our colleagues until the director was happy to have a go at it. And hang on, is this going to be really loud?
Good afternoon. Nick Frost will be leaving in 30 minutes. If you still want to meet him for a signature or